I expected like a more dramatic ha, and there wasn't one. Oops. Boop, boop. Okay. So murder most misfortunate. I think I have to solve... I want to say it looks Clue inspired, which I still have not played Clue, and I still need to. But it looks like it inspired, and I think I'm like... I want to say, if I remember correctly, I have to solve... Someone gets murdered, I'm implicated, and I have to solve the crime in like 2 hours or so before the cops come. I think is the situation, but we shall see. New story. Let's do this. Ooh, real-time mystery. When enabled, you will have to solve the mystery within a limited time period. Clock will appear. Nope, you know what? I'm not gonna do it timed because I know me. I get distracted and just go on tangents, so let's not. But that's good that there is that option for if anyone ever wants to play this game, you can be timed. I hate being timed. I don't like it. I do not like it. I get too... Left-click on this text or press the spacebar to proceed. Click dots on the right to have the game proceed automatically. Press escape to access volume and text speed settings. Use the scroll wheel when hovering over this text box to see what was previously said. Okay, I'm probably gonna...
My dear
since I'm
Misfortune,
reading it.
I hope this letter finds you well.
Misfortune.
I did so enjoy our little discussion of the
Are
work
they
of
League of
Guild
Legends
Overseer
fans?
the last time we met. I would like to cordially invite you to an intimate gathering of mine on the evening of the 27th.
I'm sorry, I'm judging the cursive. I mean, I only write in cursive. And this kind of looks like my cursive. But this prince, first off, what is that signature? But this prince should have better cursive than me.
We will be celebrating my recent acquisition of a rather unique
I already
historical
don't trust
property.
him. He's fake. He's lying.
And I
He's
think
not a
you are just
prince.
the one to properly appreciate it. I look forward to your RSVP in the affirmative.
Even if he's the one who
Most
gets killed,
sincerely
I just will
yours,
say that, like, nope, he did it.
Titanico.
It's like he was obviously murdered. Like, I don't care. Somehow he did it.
It was at an art auction, I think, that I first met Prince Titanico. He seemed to think the world of himself. I, quite frankly, thought him a bit of a bore. But if I only accepted social invitations
Did
from
something
people
just fall
I
in my house?
approved, I wouldn't dine out very often.
I'm gonna ignore whatever is happening inside. My stream will end and I'll exit my house and just everything's destroyed. Like, cool.
I stepped onto the curb from my limo and laid eyes on the place for the first time.
God, I want to ride in a limo. Just cause.
Gothic gargoyles.
Just so I can say that I've
ominously
ridden in
on the
a
old
limo.
house, and creeping vines wound their way up its walls, as though trying to strangle it. The prince had been right. It really was to my taste.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yo,
May
God.
I have your name?
Hi.
Ugh, this hulking thug, on the other hand, not so much. Fortune. Misfortune.
I mean, the way he spoke was very kind and respectable.
Is the miss a first name or a title, ma'am?
I love him.
Oh, I like to leave that to the imagination.
Okay, but if he's checking you in, your name would probably be on the list. It'd be irrelevant. Never mind.
Now you must be the butler, so why don't you buttle on and show me inside?
Bottle on.
The evening is a bit damp, I dare say.
Hi! Hi! How
No,
are
ma'am.
you?
I'm not a butler, just a valet.
Hi! Hello! Hi! How is everyone doing?
My name is Klops.
Cyclops, I love you. Oh my god, is it because Cyclops? Because you have one eye? I love you even more.
Oh my, what a terrible shame. Well, butler, or valet, you do open doors, don't you?
Oh, I hate my character. I hope she did it, and I hope that I die.
Yes, ma'am. Right this way.
Clops, you're great. I suck. I apologize on my character's behalf. Oh, it was wind. Okay, cool.
From the cobwebs in the corners and the dust on the railings, it was obvious that the house had been abandoned for some time.
Ooh, I want to go to like an old abandoned mansion for a party. That sounds really cool, as long as there are functioning toilets. That's a key part. It's a very key part for
might
me.
have been insulted to be invited to a venue in such ill repair, but it didn't bother me.
I hope I did it, and I hope I die. Great. Whatever he has. But like, I'm sorry if I'm playing a mean character. I do not have their back. I'm just like, no, shame on you.
I realized
Oh, it is
that the
falling.
house had been preserved as it was for the effect.
Scream. Why you do this? Let me make sure I'm in my trusty little cocoon. Ooh, shimmy, 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 shimmy. We good? We good? It has been breezy and I have windows open, so we'll see. We'll see. Might have to do no screen tonight. Ooh, hydrate. Thank you. I have not hydrated enough today. Honestly, the nicer my character, the more I hope I'll die. Somebody lovable has to die to set the stakes higher at the end of the second act. Oh, I'm opposite. I always want all the good characters to have good things and all the mean characters to suffer.
Misfortune has arrived.
Oh gosh, actually that water is really hitting a spot.
Ah, Misfortune. Good evening.
Love
there
you.
are refreshments
Love
on site.
whatever you are,
Please
love
do
you.
Help yourself.
Why, thank you. So, are you the butler? Or are you going to tell me you're just, I don't know, the concierge?
There's no tragedy of if some of the good people aren't stopped short of their noble goals. See, I don't do tragedy. Which is funny, because, like, I do horror stuff and, like, this, you know, murder mystery, but, like, I don't do tragedy. It's not my cup of tea. I can't do it. I don't like the emotional damage. I need happy endings. I shouldn't have phrased it like that.
Butler? No. I'm not a servant.
I'm all emotional damage.
I am a close friend and trusted advisor to our dear prince. The Grand Magus of his court, if you will. My name is Horatio.
Okay, but, like, why are you a wizard? I'm not knocking it. I'm loving it. But why are you a wizard? Like, you know you're a wizard.
Charmed, I'm sure.
My dear Misfortune, how are you, darling?
Hi.
It's so good to see you again.
Comtesse de Clecitra. Yes, it's been just ages, hasn't it? I should have known you to be here. You're never one to miss an event on the social circuit.
I dare say I needed something to cheer me up after my late husband's funeral. And an evening like this is just the thing.
Why not be a wizard if you have the choice? I mean, true. Very fair. I think we should all take notes and also dress up however we wish. We should all just be wizards. Oh, About your husband or last we met. Well, if her husband, I think she just said her husband died. I was distracted by being dumb. So I don't want to necessarily bring up her dead husband because I don't know if that's gonna like, I don't know what our relationship is. I don't know if that'll like make her upset. So last we met?
Let me see. What exactly was it that we last saw each other?
I definitely think we need to bring back giant
must have
hats.
been at
Yes, we
Tiffany's
do. Absolute fact. The rest I'm not as strongly opinionated about. But yes, absolutely. Big hats are great. There's hats in general. Like, I have some hats that I love, and I almost never wear them because anytime I think about it, I'm just like, is this gonna look weird? Except beanies. I always wear a beanie or a ball cap.
Heavens,
But, like, I have
yes.
pretty
Wasn't
ones that I want to
quite the
wear.
affair? Were you there when one of the waiters spilled a tray of champagne?
I just need to be
all
rich enough
over
that I don't
Duchess
care what
Lucy's
people
dress?
think. Because then I'll just be like, no, I'm a trendsetter.
Oh, yes. That was positively scrumptious, wasn't it? I mean, a shame about the dress, of course. I heard she had it made just for the ball. Such a pity.
Was it? Was it?
Well, given how many people come out nowadays, it was bound to happen to someone. I even heard the poor servant say he was sure he felt someone in the crowd give him a little shove.
It was me, wasn't it?
Can you imagine?
I did it. I pushed.
Surely not. These are high lords and ladies we're talking about. No doubt the man is just making excuses.
I already love this
for his
game. This is
grumpiness.
great. You just need a hat so big that everyone around you will shrink in your presence. Yes, please. I would love that.
Probably right.
It's a barrier.
Just an unlucky accident, I'm sure.
Oh, I get to do both.
Of course. I was so sorry to hear about your husband.
Oh, I should have done that in
This is your
reverse
fourth
order.
time a widow,
Oh, wow.
if I'm not mistaken.
Fourth time a widow. Oh, you're a killer too. Are we all
So,
killers?
And for you, 9, I believe?
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with
Wait,
stamina
how?
these
So we
days.
just regularly kill our husbands?
Oh my, should I be worried? Perhaps you've been cursed.
Don't marry me.
Me? Cursed? Nonsense. I seem to be doing just fine. But maybe I am bad luck.
Or you're a murderer.
Ah, Misfortune, welcome. I'm so delighted that you could come. I trust Horatio has been keeping you entertained.
Rain, hi. But I have to be a murderer.
La
I must be a
Comtesse and I
murderer.
were just
Also, hi,
scandalizing your
hello, how
court
are you?
Or was he a wizard? In any case, scandalizing him with our intimate marriage details.
Or is he a wizard? I love how they're just straight up like, yeah, wizard boy. It's like, good. I like this. My friend, how are ya? I'm great. I am doing well. I basked in my freshly clean apartment today. I actually got on my treadmill for 2 hours. It was great. Did I do anything else? Not really. Yeah, now I'm streaming. And then I'll do more things after stream. Like record. I need to record. I haven't recorded anything for this week. I'm so behind. How did you like the movie yesterday? It was so fun! It was so fun. I really liked those action sequences. I wish there was more of the wife lady because she was so cool. She was really, really, really great. Yeah, and yeah, that like over the top villain. Yeah, it was great. It was such a fun time. Recorded and uploaded today too. Ooh, awesome! Oh yeah, I was watching part 6 today. Love that movie. Watched it a lot. I can understand that. It was so good.
Of course you were. So tell me.
Also,
what do
I
you
like
think the house-
good punchy action.
I must admit, when I first came into this little period piece, I immediately thought of you.
Oh, cool. Will you give it to me? I'll
It
take a
seems
cool old mansion.
melancholy, mysterious, and maybe just a little macabre. So yes, I quite like it so far.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I will take you all on a more detailed tour shortly, but we are still waiting for more guests to arrive. And what timing! Here they are now.
I love whatever these gestures are that the artist drew them in. They're so corny, but I love it.
Miss Charisse and Miss Leah have arrived, sir.
What I like about SPL movies is it has a real story. It's not just constant fights, though. Yeah, definitely. Like, it had a real story. It had plot. It had different characters and, like, character arcs. Like, there was some depth. Yeah, really well done. I still question why that girl had to go out and bury that plant, but whatever. What? Okay, the girl in white kind of fits in with the other outfits. You don't. Are you from a different game?
Is that the Charisse? The industrial heiress? The one who's been throwing all those charity balls ever since she came into her fortune?
Also, I love this blonde into pink hair action she has going on.
The very same.
My beautiful Charisse, please come in. Without you, this place is dark and drab, but your radiance rekindles it anew.
The pose I feel I need to take a pic like that, right? It's like the power is mine pose.
You're
Yes.
too kind. Oh my! I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never imagined it was him.
I didn't exactly get that vibe.
Indeed. This party just got a little more interesting.
Like, she doesn't look happy to be here, and I feel like if you were, I don't know, I don't get that vibe that they're dating.
And this must be Leah, the girlhood friend of whom you speak so very highly.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people.
But what are you wearing?
Dead people? Yeah, I assure you, fair lady, you are perfectly safe here.
I think it was a critique of the decor, not of our safety.
Leah doesn't mean it. It's a lovely house. Really.
On the contrary, Miss Leah may be more right than she knows. Until recently, this mansion was the property of the Lee family. Perhaps you know of them.
Oh yes, who doesn't? A distinguished family of the nobility.
I think this
with a
pose so far is my
respected pedigree
favorite.
and a
Because, like,
long
what
history
even
of
is
public
this?
service and political
Is this a,
influence.
like, oh, let me tell you. Let me spill this tea.
So, short version, some stuffy old rich people.
Almost all of the estates out here, away from the city, were owned by old families. But many have had to sell over the years. It must be a bit sad for them, leaving all that history behind.
I mean, I'd be sad if my rich parents couldn't keep our rich house anymore, yeah.
Indeed, and especially so for the Lees. Theirs is a tale of tragedy, and it ends, as they so often do, in sorrow and blood.
Murder.
Oh,
Come,
What?
the house itself will tell its share of the tale.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
This is the smoking room.
What?
Did the
I
Lee
have
family
no
use
idea.
this as a quiet
That
place
timing
to
was not
relax
right.
after the evening meals, I wonder?
Also, like, what?
Or was this the proverbial smoke-filled room where secret deals would be struck and the fates of nations decided?
I don't know. I actually, I'm too poor to
My
understand
attention
what
was
exactly
drawn
a
to
smoking room
curio cabinet
is.
on one side of the room.
Is it just like a hangout
Some of the
room
items
where
within
in ye olden
rather
days
struck
people
my
smoked up
fancy.
and just like chit chat? Like,
This cabinet.
I
Are
don't know.
these items originals?
Also, what's with the doll?
I believe so. I have endeavored to change as little
Burn
as
it.
possible about the house since acquiring it.
Don't just leave that house.
The
You find
Lees
one of those
were
dolls in a
well-known
place, an
as
abandoned old mansion,
eclectic
you just leave.
collectors.
They also say that sorcery ran strongly in the Lee family,
Ooh.
you know.
I mean, back when I did smoke, my smoking room was
Right.
outside, right?
We didn't have enough reason to think this place was owned by a bunch of creepers.
Come now. Surely a smart little girl like you doesn't put any stock in old superstitions.
Also, what is your dress?
Magic and superstitions, no. Weird and
Why are you
creepy people,
accentuating
on the
the
other hand,
uterus?
are plenty real.
I'm very confused by that
Not
design.
to worry, young lady. You're among good company here.
Is it just supposed to be like one of those? But and then it's
We will
just
have
like
time
I don't
to
know.
look
It's the
around in
shading.
greater
The shading
detail
is
later, I assure you.
throwing me.
For the moment, follow me, if you would.
I like to show the men my baby maker. It's my mating dance. That's how I get the men.
They call
King
these
bedroom.
the
I
king
love
bed,
how that girl's already on her
home
phone.
to the
Like,
master of the house.
I'm over this. This is dumb.
Now it is
That
as you
sounds like
see,
a quote.
empty and forlorn, as
Good.
it waits for
I'm
a
glad.
new master to take the place of the old.
It feels so cold.
Right? Like, girl, why are you here? This does not seem like your
Milady, I can call
scene.
for Klops to bring you a sweater.
And while he's at it, perhaps also a textbook on metaphorical versus literal language.
At least he's being nice.
You are so kind.
Oh, God.
But I'm fine. It's just the
Willis!
atmosphere of this place.
Hi! Thank you!
The
13
Lees
months!
were among our most powerful
13
families before
months!
the Imperial Revolution. But like most of the old guard,
Are we
of the
old
pack,
enough for
they
that? I
chose to
don't.
leave.
What? Oh, thank you so much.
In many ways.
Oh, no.
The family
Why are you
never recovered.
accentuating the uterus was added as a quote.
They certainly
I'm so
never
glad.
recovered
I'm so
financially
glad.
at the very
My Lucy came in
least.
on a
Thus
beautiful
the
moment.
sale of this very house.
Hello, how are you?
It's almost as if
Oh,
old
how
money
was your
runs out
mowing?
if
I
you're
was
not
really
smart
sad.
with it.
Yesterday I cleaned my apartment for 9 hours straight, so
Quite
it
so.
wasn't on the computer at all.
But
But how was your
at
mowing
least the
stream? That
house
sounds
has gone
really
to those
fun.
who
I
can
wish I had caught
appreciate
it.
its history.
It's just, I don't know. I love watching like cleaning stuff or just like things made tidy. It's like so calming to me.
This is the queen bedroom.
Like I really enjoy
and
it.
it has a fascinating story.
Mode. Ooh, and mulched leaves.
It is said
Ooh.
that the famous senator
Very
Lamika
nice.
Lee herself met her end in this very room during the final days of the revolution.
I wish I had a yard to do
Yeah,
yard work.
I remember learning about that. She was one of the staunchest supporters of the Old Republic.
And she was killed here? In her own bedroom? That's so terrible.
Like, and if you two are dating, why would you bring your girl here? Like, you know this
By
is
all
not
accounts, she
her
did not go
scene.
down without a fight.
Like, that'd be rude.
Revolutionary soldiers
I don't think they're
stormed the
together.
grounds, but none who came in here survived.
Oh.
They even say that she sustained herself for days on the blood of the soldiers who kept coming for her.
I mean, that's
Well,
pretty
points
metal.
for ingenuity. I'll grant her that.
I leaned on a small tree that apparently had a fungus
But
rot at the
that
base,
was
and
all
it
a long
snapped
time
off of the
ago.
ground. Aw,
There
it was a
wouldn't
day.
Still be any
Are
light
you okay? Were you
left
leaning
here
on
now,
it to the point that
or
like you
anything.
fell? I hope you're okay.
Really?
Also sad
With
about
all
tree.
the lead, it's rather difficult to say, isn't it? Who knows how much of it might have soaked into the floor, the walls, the bed.
You gotta find out. You're gonna test the bed.
You are right, my darling Charisse. It is all long past.
Okay, wait, are you guys dating?
A good tale for a night of ghost stories, perhaps.
Girl, leave him.
But thankfully, these are happier times.
You knew it was that. Okay. I didn't know it would snap off just by leaning lightly. Oh no.
And here we have the dining hall.
I did that
I see the
once. The
clocks
house where I
have some
grew up,
tea and
out in the
coffee
yard,
for
I like
breakfast.
strung up a hammock between two trees. And apparently I
orange juice
chose a
too,
branch
I
that
hope.
didn't
I'm running rather low. and
support
all
me
this
well.
dry
So I was like
air,
in the
you know?
hammock reading a book, and then all of a sudden,
I'll see
poop
to it,
on the
sir.
ground. I was
Only
only like 2
just
feet off the
started
ground, so I wasn't
to
hurt. I was
feel
just more
wonderful.
startled of just like, what just happened? It's like,
This
oh, the branch
concludes
broke.
our
Okay.
formal tour of the estate, but our evening is far from over.
What are you gonna do? Don't do a seance.
Tonight, my friend,
Don't
is
do a
more
seance.
than just a housewarming party.
Don't do a seance. You're gonna do one, aren't you?
Before the night is done, I have a very special announcement to make to you all.
Okay, cool.
But don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Again, girl, leave him.
Thank you. I was just a bit
Also, you
startled.
do not look happy. Great hair, but like, no.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror. I dare say I may faint myself.
You're
Delicate
rude.
flower
Don't
that
ever judge someone for what scares them.
Flower? A noxious weed, perhaps?
You tell her, Leah.
Please, Misfortune, allow me. I've got you.
Does he
now.
do? Oh, that's right. You're doing wedding ceremony planning. Ah!
What
It's
would
a lot,
we
but we're
do
getting through it.
without
Ow! I'm so
On
excited for
second
you
thought,
guys.
you can enhance
Oh, that's gonna be so
I seem to
cute.
be quite all right.
Good, good. Because there's nothing to be worried about. It's just a little blackout.
Okay, but who's
Would you
gonna
be so
die?
good as to check the breaker then, my dear Horatio?
No.
Yes, of course. My talents will
Is it
shed
gonna be
some light on
Horatio
all
because
of
he's
us
the one
in
being
no
sent to
time.
go off on his own? I don't want Horatio to die. I like him best.
absolutely adore these old homes.
Him and
They
Klops.
do so often have problems with the wiring, don't they?
Excuse me, boss. Sir, there's a telephone call for you.
A call for me?
How mysterious. I love it.
Mysterious.
Maybe
You must
Titanico will be the
excuse
one
me,
who
dear
dies.
guest. Klops will fetch some candles for you so you can look around while Horatio works his magic on the lighting. I will return very shortly.
There are so many sirens tonight.
I wandered back to the king bedroom
I don't
by
know what's
myself
happening.
to take a closer look at some of the decor.
Who are you talking to? Like, your mouth is moving. This isn't just your internal dialogue. Oh, okay. Next year, me and my wife are doing vows renewal. Then every 5 years, we're having ceremonies. Oh, that's so cute.
The elaborate carvings on the wooden bedpost intrigued me. Spirits and demons
My-
of all sorts circled
I
and
read that,
surrounded any
and then my
lord
brain was
who might
immediately
sleep in
like,
this bed.
ah, so many
Who was his
opportunities for
preferable,
cake.
I wondered. And then
Apparently,
thinking
that's
any
what
others
weddings
and
mean to
wondering
me,
what
and ceremonies
love
is
giver she
cake.
was rumored to be.
Ah.
The air in the old house was still and thick with dust. But even had there been a draft, I doubt the black drapes by the room's window would have stirred. Even I was surprised by how thick and heavy the material was. No sunlight would have pierced its way into this room against its occupants' wishes. That much was certain.
Okay, but like the drapes are sheer.
Looks like our court magician has managed to conjure back a little light for us after all. Had these books on the shelf belonged to the Lee family as well?
I'm a cake man myself.
Curious, I skimmed a few of the titles.
You've taught me what cake means
A history
outside
of
of
the
the
Republic.
cake that I mean.
Genealogy of the great families.
I'm
turn
on to
to
you,
it
sir.
Genghis
I mean, you're a
Khan
deaf
and the
family, so you are deaf
21
invited.
Bloods.
Aww. And there will be lots of cake.
All
I will be
dreadfully
there.
dull classics, I'm sure.
Not just hanging with the fam, but also cake. I've opened the door. I'm already outside.
I simply adore old chandeliers, especially the ones that come crashing down unexpectedly on the heads of people I don't like.
You're not even pretending that you're an
Modern
innocent
life
person.
issues
Like,
just
you are
don't have that
just
same
a
potential.
killer. Also, I don't know, there's some modern light fixtures that are incredibly deadly. Rich people get weird with glass. Oh, that mirror looks like something's gonna be in it. I don't like that. Oh, hi.
I'd hope that by taking a closer look at the ruined portrait, I might be able to discern who had been pictured. I could imagine no shortage of delicious reasons why a lord's portrait might be disfigured in a house such as this. Shredded by a bitter servant when the master was thought absent. Savaged by
I don't
an
see that
angry
happening.
child who never quite lived up to expectation.
Maybe.
Alas, the portrait seemed more a victim of old age than of some crime of passion. And of the face, I could make out nothing at all.
Ooh, what's your favorite cake?
At last I found you, Misfortune. You need to come right away. Please.
Good question.
Whatever is the
I'm actually
matter?
not sure,
You
because
look
I just
like you've
love
seen a
cake.
ghost with that one
And it kind
eye
of depends on the
yours.
mood. I do like
There's no time to waste, miss.
like vanilla
you should
cake.
See for
So
yourself.
I also really love fruit. So like what is it? Trifle? That's like cake and whipped cream and fruit
Gathering
like
my
stacked up.
strength,
Like I love
hurried
that.
after the hulking butler.
But also
Sorry,
like cake
valet.
with
Back to the hall where
like
we had first
jam
arrived.
and frosting.
From the urgency
I've
of
had
his
before,
pace
and it
his
was
voice, I knew
great.
that something
I feel like
had
vanilla lends itself more
But
to like
still.
fruit being involved. But also I love chocolate cake. I love lemon. Oh, hi. You are dead.
It was our host,
But if it's
Prince
cake, I'll
Titanico.
eat it.
He was dead. That alone
I'll
should
just
be
there's
scary.
there's no
I was
me
most
not doing
drawn to
that.
dead bodies.
I'm doing homework, so I'll be
But from
lurking
the
until
way he
I finish.
was
Find me a
lying,
new baby
it
mama.
was
I will
clear
try,
his death
Mila.
was no
Hi.
accident.
Good luck with homework.
He'd been murdered. And that meant that someone in the mansion was the murderer.
I do love how casual this is. Also, his thumb's on the wrong side. On his arm. He was lying face down and they had the thumb on the outside, but your thumb would be on the inside. Toward your torso. Your thumb's our torso side. So his hand was
I found the rest of the
Backwards.
ladies. Now, Pops, what is this all about?
not a big food cake person. Fair. Fair. I will eat all the cake that you don't.
Body?
You got cake that you don't want to eat?
Positive.
Call me. I will eat that cake for you.
Ugh! Everyone, shield your eyes. This is not a sight for fair sensibilities.
I've had a sugar
Little
issue
guest
since I
stood
was
in
in
the
middle
doorway
school, so I've
opposite
conditioned myself
myself
not
and
to eat sweets.
Klops.
I wish
My eyes
I
fell
wish
on a oh so
I
sensitive
also had done that, because I
ingenue,
have the opposite of
Charisse.
I eat way
If
too
ever
much
there was a time
sugar.
To faint for real,
I am such a
this was
sugar
it.
addict.
But she didn't.
I
She just
can't
stared
not
into the
eat
room,
sugar
her eyes
and junk food,
wide,
and it's
glassy,
really really
and
aggravating. But I just like I'm so hooked that I just like
Somebody needs to
and I have
call the
no
police.
willpower. If I see it, I'm just like,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Right
I
away.
hate myself for it. But it's so good.
It'll take them a while. We're ways out of the city.
I'll just send
We
you the
shouldn't
pics of the
touch
cakes my wife
anything.
makes. She's a
Let's
certified
all
baker and
go back
chef
to the dining room
too.
And wait for the police to arrive.
Why didn't she bring me a cake?
No.
I'm kidding. I do
Huh?
kid. I do kid. But yeah, please
We
do.
can't
That's
just
really
sit and
cool.
wait. We need to
I'm a
investigate.
terrible baker,
We
and a
need to
pretty
see the
bad
truth
chef.
with our own eyes.
So I'm always impressed with people who are really good at it. My
I'm with you on
roommate,
that,
my
Sharon.
roommate is so good at making cupcakes.
Well, if our precocious
But I
little
also hate
darlings
it
are
because
going
then
to
I
be poking
end up
about,
eating so many
I'm certainly
cupcakes.
not going to be left out.
as well as a nail slash
you
hair
insist,
tech.
then.
Like, my wife is awesome. She is awesome. She is very awesome.
Be very careful.
She would actually.
We won't disturb anything, Contessa.
You so don't have
I
to.
promise.
I do just tease.
That is not what I meant. It could be that whoever did this has not gone far.
I mean, yeah.
Oh.
That was an interesting sound, Horatio.
Surely it was just some villain who
You know
was
what? I hope it's
sent to
Charisse who
sea.
did it. I
I'll keep in.
hope she
eye
had
on
that
you,
in her.
sir. Just nobody.
Because he was not good for her.
You understand?
Though there were too many red flags for me, and she deserves better.
Perhaps it would have been more comforting to believe the culprit was some stranger, a shadow in the night that was.
I'm a good
now
chef,
long
though.
gone.
I love cooking and coming up with
But
recipes.
it
Oh, that's
just wouldn't
awesome.
have fit the evening's
I'm
theme.
hyperglycemic,
Now,
so I literally crash if I overdo the sweets.
I had a hunch that there was
I will then
something more
absolutely
afoot
do
in
you
old
a
Manor
solid
that
and
night.
eat all those sweets
And
for
I
you.
certainly wasn't
I'm
going to
teasing.
trust anyone else
I'm sorry
to
that
properly figure it
you
out.
have that. That's gotta be sucky. Like if there's something that you want, but like you know that it's not gonna be good for you. That's sucky.
No.
Someone who has
what
that
a
issue too,
tragedy.
especially she loves sweets.
What a cruel twist
Yeah,
of
that'd be the
fate.
worst.
And to think, tonight was meant to be an evening of joy and making merry.
Okay, but did you do it?
I'm not exactly sure that joy is the word I'd pick for an evening.
It doesn't suck
in
for
this
me because I
house.
found out young. I
But
now just don't
I'll
crave
admit,
sweets very
I
often.
was
That
never expecting anything like
is
this.
great. That is, yeah, that's really, really good.
It was such a monstrous sight.
So you never, like,
Do you think
developed
Miss Leah and
the sugar
Miss
addiction.
Charisse will be all right?
So, yeah, that's great. My roommate's
Oh,
like that because my
right.
roommate's lactose intolerant, but she, like,
healthy enough
hates
to me.
milk. So she never,
I mean,
like,
do you think they'll
she
be
gets herself on
distraught
ice cream
that
and
you,
sometimes
if
some
you don't mind me
cheese,
saying, are
but
a
she, like,
woman of the
despises
world, Miss
milk.
Fortune?
So
But
it, like,
they are
works
so
for
young,
her.
so
It's like,
pure,
okay, I'm lactose
like a
intolerant, but also,
newly
like, it doesn't
bloomed
really
flower
matter because,
that
like,
has
I don't
only
want
seen
pretty
sunlight,
much any of
never
that.
knowing that there is also night and all the horrors that it hides.
Also, where is it? I think we order pizza anytime we get pizza from Papa John's because she's just like, yeah, it's fake
A
cheese, so I
rose,
can eat
by
it.
any other name, can still prick you quite nastily if you don't know what you're doing.
I beg your pardon?
Don't be mean to Horatio.
Never mind, my dear Horatio.
But, like, can I be the killer?
Hmm.
Yeah, view me as suspicious. Oh yeah, what was he gonna announce? Once every month, me and my wife have a candlelit dinner. Aww. We come up with a new recipe to try. That's so freaking cute. What the? Okay, you got Rain and Witless. Y'all have like the cutest relationships for real. Like you guys and your wives, freaking precious. I love it. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, it's adorable.
Horatio, how long had you known our dear departed host?
I have
And like you guys, I don't know, you guys have like
had
good
been his closest friend and confidant for many years.
patterns, like good things that you guys do, and like
Oh,
the respect and love that you guys have for each other, and support. Like,
Didn't you say?
like this is what couple goals are.
I did, but alas, though I can conjure a parlor trick or two, I could do little to foresee this unseemly doom.
Indeed.
I like that he's still like
Unseemly.
drinking.
Just the word I would have used. Presumably you would know then if the prince had any enemies.
A man like the prince always does, but none of them are here.
I would say the evidence suggests the contrary.
Right? Why, thank you, we try. Sometimes I want to
surely
karate
we
chop
suggest that
her
it's
like she does me,
us.
but we are best friends
After
though.
all, didn't you say
Aww.
that all your husbands
I feel like
just
that's what's
died from
important.
bad luck? Perhaps
Tell you
it was
one thing I
that.
love about our relationship is you have
Yes, yes.
no,
Quite.
no.
Bad luck.
You know, I was all on your guys' side. I was so happy for you, but nope. Nope.
Where were you when this absolutely dreadful business happened?
See, even the way that I'm
I imagine
like
I must
talking
have
to
still been in
him,
the
I'm just throwing
basement, or
suspicion
very
on
close to it.
myself. Like, I
Only
am
just put the lights
suspicious.
back on, and I was coming up the stairwell when Klops found me.
Was he the one to discover the body then?
I believe so. He asked me to help find all the guests, which leads me to cleverly deduce that I was the first one he encountered after the gruesome discovery.
That would seem logical.
Clever indeed. Nothing gets past you, does it, dear?
I want to smack me.
Ahem. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But where were you, Misfortune?
I was in the king bedroom.
Alone?
As it happens, yes. I've always been the sort to need a little bit of me time every so often, you know.
I mean, I do feel that.
But you could have been in danger.
Have you seen me? I kill people.
Of course, you're right. If only I was clairvoyant, I might even have been worried at the time, too.
I want to strangle me.
Well,
Like,
never fear.
ah.
You're safe with me now.
Yes, I'm sure I am.
Oh, Horatio, I want to protect you. You're just like a little, I don't know, precious bean, a little biscuit. We cook all the time too. You should check out the Odyssey Food channel. Yes, yes. I have scrolled through some of the things y'all make, and yum 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 yum. I really want to do cooking streams, but it's a really big pain to set up the PC in there. I feel that for sure. But it'd be cool. I've been trying to figure out, because I see like you can stream from, or at least there's like a stream button on my Twitch app. What does it say? It's like, oh, it's already live, so it doesn't say. But I think there's like go live, so I'm assuming you can do it from your phone. But I haven't really checked it out because I don't know, like, you know, would overlays be a thing? Like if I set up my overlays to do, like, I don't know how that works. Or is it just like you on your phone? But I want to investigate it because, yeah, I feel like outside adventure stuff, or you know, whenever I do my trip to Asia, like I want to be able to like stream at the same time, if that does it, instead of, you know, attempting to lug a PC around. Just absolutely would not happen. Same, and I agree. I don't know how I would set it up. Yeah. I used to have OBS Ninja to stream cameras to my PC so that I could use my overlays and stuff specifically for cooking streams. Ooh! OBS Ninja. I'm writing that down. I need to look at that. It's a pain to adjust anything because you have to remote control the PC somehow or just walk between the rooms. Okay. Sounds nice. I'll check it out too. Yeah, for sure. Did you ever look up Mega Man X Command Mission? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You guys, I think Mega Man X has been.
Prince Titanico
Is that what I own?
mentioned an
I think that's what I own.
announcement that he wished to make this evening. Do you know what
I
that
need to
was
get
all about?
a SNES.
Yes. Or at least, I think so.
Though I have no idea how I would hook that up.
You mean you're
to my
not
computer.
sure?
But I
You
should.
must understand, the prince was a man with a flair for the dramatic. He rather liked his secrets, and hence his surprises.
True. Fair.
That I don't doubt. In fact,
I feel like I should have
wouldn't
my
put it
notebook
past
ready
him
to
have
take notes
staged
for
his
this
own
murder
drama,
game.
just to leave us all in suspense.
My dear friend did have rather unusual tastes, but I fear in this case it was not part of the plan.
I see. So, are you going to tell me then?
About what?
About the announcement, of course.
What makes you think that he knows?
No, I think not.
Good.
Oh?
As I said, he liked his secrets. Telling you now, it just wouldn't be what he'd want.
I have an app on my
Well,
tablet
if
that's
you
like
do
$5
so
that
insist
lets
on
me
being
use my
obstinate,
tablet as
I
PC
suppose I
monitor
will have
over
to make do
Wi-Fi.
on
With very
my
little
own.
delay. Ooh. Looked it up, but I haven't
True magician
never
reveals his secrets,
put serious
Misfortune.
effort into finding an
Nor
ISO
those
yet
of his
because I fell
friends.
back into Front Mission 5. Ooh. Ooh, super display. Okay.
I do believe it's about time I took a bit of a stroll.
Super display.
Do be careful, Misfortune, and please. if you
I also have
need
a
of my
place you
talents-
can get it
Worry not, my
if
dear. If the
uh,
lights
I can
happen
message
to go
you.
out again, I'll know just who to
Nice
call.
damage. Yeah. There are a lot of ways to remote control your PC. It just becomes a hassle when you're wrestling remote cameras, microphones, and your scenes while also cooking or whatever you actually want to do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because like my stepdad, he messes with my computer even though he's like states away, like if I'm having a weird issue. But yeah, it seems like a lot, but also I have to look into it. Now I just carry my PC into the kitchen and deal with the setup hassle to have an easier time while I'm doing the stream. That's fair. Ooh. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. This is a big fancy house. Main hall? I like that his dead body's just there.
As best I knew, our mysterious murder had happened here, in the hall. At the very least, I thought the body warranted a closer look. Luckily for me, I was no stranger to corpses.
Like, I'm just a killer.
Funerals for 9 different husbands will do that, you know.
Yeah, but like a regular dead body and a murder victim is different.
15.
Those are different corpses.
It seems I'm not alone here. But what is the poor girl doing? She's just pacing back and forth and muttering to herself. Have the evening's events already broken her fragile little mind?
Why do you think you're better than her? Let me examine the room first.
I decided it was time to take a closer look at the body. Corpses are always a bit distasteful, to be sure, but I'd seen enough rich old lords killed in unfortunate hunting accidents that I was rather used to it.
Yeah, no, that hand is just wrong. Cause like, if it's the curvature, that wouldn't be there even if the hand was turned around because the back of the hand is different. It doesn't have that fleshy bit. Sorry, I
The princess most
zeroed in on that for some reason.
Judging from the way the clothes had been pierced, it had almost certainly been made by a knife.
Okay, we got main hall.
The wound itself was deep and vicious. Clearly the work of no ordinary butter knife.
Knife.
The blood had soaked through the back of the prince's evening wear, but given the nastiness of the wound itself, there wasn't as much of it as I might have expected. The prince was face down on the floor, and there was an odd angle to his right leg. So odd, in fact, that I'd wager a platinum necklace or two that it was broken in at least one spot.
Well, duh, girl.
Could simply collapsing on the spot from a stab wound cause a break
Like,
like that?
I think anyone could
seriously
tell
doubt it.
that that's a broken leg. Legs are not angled like that.
There was something odd about the prince's right hand.
I love how
knelt
she's
down to
like,
get as
I'm
close a
better
look
than
as I could
everyone,
without
but I'm
touching.
also an idiot.
The palm and inside of the fingers had been burnt and blackened. I checked the left hand as well, just to be sure, but it seemed undamaged.
Broken leg, burnt hand. Okay, what's all this rubble around him? I will say OBS Ninja is really handy if you just want a quick way to use your wireless enabled camera as a source in a hurry. That's really, really good to know. I might use that. Quote, you are the white person in a horror movie. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that's good.
Was it only coincidence?
I
that
don't
the
even
trail of
remember
candles
what
in the
that
center of the
situation
main
was. I
hall
think some girl was like
seemed to
running
lead
into
straight to the
danger.
body of the prince? Or had our mysterious killer intentionally used them?
Oh,
to
it's always so
find their
sad when I
handiwork in some
run
sensitive
out of
carve
soda.
artistry? Well, tragic as it might be to despoil a
Wait,
work of art, it occurred to me that a candle might come in handy for searching the dark old house. Since with all the commotion of finding the body, I must have misplaced the one I had earlier.
Okay, I got candle.
Was it only coincidence that the trail of candles in the center of the main hall seemed to lead straight to the body of the prince? Or had our mysterious killer intentionally used them?
Leave it to
find
me
their
to quote the
handiwork in
wise
some
words of
sensitive
Greg.
carve artistry?
I love it.
Well, tragic
I
as it
mean, if
might be to
you
despoil a
don't
work of art,
write down
it occurred
these
to me that a
words of
candle might come in
wisdom
handy
that
for
I
searching
spew,
the dark
then
old house.
who will?
Since
They'll be
with all the
lost
commotion of finding
to
the
the
body,
ages.
I must have
And that would
misplaced
be the
one I
true
had.
tragedy of this world.
The phone itself was heavy, made of metal, and certainly quite old-fashioned. Normally, that's the sort of style I prefer, but right now, a call history of some kind would have come in rather handy. But why is the receiver dangling like that? Did this table get bumped at some point? What have we here? There's an extra wire clip to the back of the phone. I'm quite certain this sort of phone doesn't normally need more than one wire. Let's just leave it alone for now, shall we?
Extra wire. I am taking notes. No, you need to do the shady thing to see the last thing that was written. Aw, that's an option? 0 out of 10 mystery game. Missing the basics. There's a lot of mouths and mouths. I think I run about 6 cameras for cooking streams, and at least half of them are cell phones or laptops, so I still have to use OBS Ninja even when I move my PC into the kitchen. Oh my gosh! That's right though, I have seen your cooking stream setup, and it does seem like there's a lot. But I mean, it also looks really cool, so it's worth it. So taking notes like Clue. Yes! I feel like this is very Clue inspired, which I still haven't played Clue.
The house must have been abandoned for quite some time.
Yeah, this is a massive dirt
For on one
mound.
side of the hall, part of the wall itself had collapsed, and nature was slowly but surely spilling into the house and reclaiming its territory.
We solved it. Nature did it.
Let's hope that the place would hold up long enough for us to wrap up our little party at the very least.
Nope. Nature wants you dead and gone. Oh no, why am I yawning? I'm not tired yet. Hi, Charisse.
My dear little Miss Charisse, what in the world are you doing?
Comforting herself, maybe? Distractions?
I'm counting.
so good to see they still teach that in grade school these days. How marvelous.
Oh, wait, she's trying to figure something out, isn't she?
The timing seems off. I need to check again.
Ah, she's trying to solve it.
On second thought, maybe they don't teach it so well after all.
The timing is off. Maybe the timing
I almost think I'll regret asking.
of the discovery of the dead body?
darling, what timing is off?
It's Mr. Klops, the butler.
Valet.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, what about him then?
I saw him go into this room when the lights were out.
I see. Is that when he found the body, do you think?
I think so. He came running out looking for Mr. Horatio. I don't think he saw me.
Oh, well, you can't blame the poor man for that. He only sees half as much as the rest of us. But just what does that have to do with all your pacing and counting?
Clue is just a memory slash inference game. It's
he was
easy to
in
win
here
if
too
you pay
long.
attention to what the other plays ask about as well.
I
Ooh.
beg your pardon.
Truth
too
is actually
long.
one of my favorite games. Yeah, I've just never played. I really want to.
I've been timing how long it takes to walk from the door to the body. It doesn't add up. I'm sure he was in here longer. Maybe an extra 20 seconds.
Well, aren't you a delightfully clever little girl? Maybe you should have been a detective rather than a fabulously wealthy industrial heiress.
Why can't she be both?
Oh, it's nothing really. It's just, well, it's not my first time.
Are
being
all of
around
you
a murder
either
case.
killers or around killers?
I guess that helps a little.
Why? What? We have the Clues Steam game we can play sometime. Yeah, I super want to. I want to do like one game alone so that I learn the rules, but then I absolutely want to do like a group thing because that would be super freaking fun.
In any case, it's a good thing I found you, my dear. I had a feeling you just might be in need of my expertise.
You already see that she's good.
Your
She just
expertise?
needed help.
Oh, yes, dear. I've buried 9 husbands after all. I've got this morning business down pat, if I do say so myself.
Forgive me, I didn't know. I'm so sorry to hear it. That's just so much bad.
Girl,
luck
you
for
know
one
she killed at
lifetime.
least half of them.
One gets used to it. And it's not all bad news. My last husband, the Duke, left me this marvelous country estate that is absolutely to die for. But silly me, here I am going on and on about
They're
myself.
all just dead inside,
You
right?
must be
Like
so
what?
terribly
I would say do
distraught
solo
by all
first because
this.
it will teach you for sure. Yeah, yeah.
The prince and I, well, we hadn't been seeing each other for very long. But still.
Yeah, I
it's
feel
such
like
a
that would be
horrible
easier than
crime.
just like do a first match and I'm just like,
That's why
but
I
I have
insisted
no
on
idea
the
how to
truth
play.
behind it.
He did seem
9
rather
husbands.
smitten
You'd think
with
somebody
you,
would
I
learn not
must
to marry
say.
that woman after a while, right?
Well,
Right?
he
What
he just
number?
liked to exaggerate, I'm sure.
Especially with her personality.
Rather his own
What
unique way of
number
words.
is the cutoff point where someone will look
Unique is
at her
one
and just
way to
think,
put it. You don't
she
suppose that in his
is a
grandiose
killer.
infatuation, he wrote you
she
into his
kills
will,
these
did he?
husbands for their money?
Oh, I can't imagine.
I feel
him
like
doing
they
that.
should have learned that before 9. I feel like they should have learned that around, I don't know, maybe husband number 3?
Pity. That's usually the first thing I ask for.
What is she, a Black Widow,
Oh, well.
right?
Live and learn, my dear.
Okay, but what's this other
I'm
murder?
Sorry, my dear, but did you say this isn't your first murder?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, it wasn't my murder. But I was
Well,
there.
I
when
mean,
it
you're
happened.
alive, so.
My, my. I never would have imagined. It must make for an absolutely thrilling story, I'm sure.
Please, you must forgive me, but I really don't want to talk about it.
Of course. How rude of you to
I'm curious
pry.
as to how many
I'm
quotes you
sure
have.
the
Oh,
experience must have been
I
just
have no
ghastly
idea.
for you. But oh my.
Maybe
You
they
don't suppose
foolishly
you have
believe
something
that the
to do
higher
with
the
that
number
horrible
is,
predicament,
the
do
less
you?
she'll want to murder another husband?
No. No, I don't think so.
Could be. Could be.
It was a long way away. And
This is my box. Get your own box.
was stopped. And besides,
I need to turn off stream
Except for
elements.
Leah and I.
Quote.
nobody here was involved.
Well, that's a relief. It would be just awful if there was a serial killer following you around, or something like that. It must just be coincidence then.
She
that
couldn't
people keep
possibly need
dropping
more money
dead
after
wherever
9
you
husbands,
go.
right? She's saying find her out one yet. Yeah, yeah.
Suppose that it
I'll
must be.
totally survive. I mean, maybe spin it. Maybe you're husband number 10 and you kill her now. Just saying. I would absolutely walk around this mansion. I don't think I had examined. Oh God, what is that?
The giant, oddly proportioned statue that was the dining room centerpiece.
No,
But
no.
as I drew closer,
That's
I
a
couldn't help
demon,
but
that's an
feel a bit
alien.
intimidated by
That's
the way it
bad.
moved over me.
That needs to be destroyed.
Then again, I could say the exact same things about that gruesome one-eyed manservant.
No,
Klops.
no. Klops is
Who'd have
great.
ever
You
thought
do
he
not
would have
disrespect
so
him
much
like
in
that, but
common
this
with
is a
Lord
freaking,
Klops?
this is nightmare fuel. I'm gonna go away from
The
that.
family crest of the Lees still adorns some of the flags and banners that hung from the walls in the dining room.
Don't give away the honeymoon surprise crest.
Suppose it wasn't a bad crest, really.
Oops.
A little overly dramatic with all the spikiness, perhaps. But then, they weren't exactly a family that had cultivated a particularly cuddly image.
Well, I mean, yeah. Have you seen their statue?
Long, narrow tables stretched down either side of the room for what seemed like forever. At one end were the remnants of our refreshments from earlier. But I think
Wait, is this a rich people party and there weren't, like,
I mean, it
servants?
Didn't look like poison had anything to do
Like,
with
there's the
prince's
valet,
life.
but, like,
But one can never
did he
be
cook
too
all the
careful.
food and serve us? Like, this seems like, where's the staff?
The family crest of the Lees still adorns some of the flags and banners that hung from the a little overly dramatic with all the spikiness, perhaps. But then, they weren't exactly a family.
I know. Okay. Okay. Is Klops gonna be here? Oh, it's raining.
When I'd first arrived at the manor house, I thought it might rain that evening. And in light of recent events, I half expected a flash of lightning to provide an atmospheric backdrop to the stage of our little drama, complete with the clap of thunder as the applause.
I mean, there has been lightning.
But the night air hung cold
The
and
staff is with
still,
Mr. Body's
and
body.
the only sound was the rustling of weeds and brush
Yes.
that clawed against the foundations of the
I mean,
building.
someone needs to watch it. I'm running around playing detective. Also, there's a killer who probably wants to
Rustling.
hide their
But
tracks.
There isn't any wind.
Someone's
Who's
gotta
that
watch
out
it.
there?
It's just me, Misfortune. Ma'am.
Hi.
I say, what in the world are you doing skulking about in the brush like that? Don't tell me they get you to do the groundskeeping around here, too.
Sometimes I do a bit of gardening, yes. You know, when things get out of hand.
Gardening, at a time like this?
Maybe that's a coping mechanism. His
Well,
employer just died.
No, ma'am. Right now, I'm keeping an eye out for strangers, just to keep everyone safe.
What a relief. I do feel ever so much safer when a hulking man with an eye patch is lurking in the shadows.
Why am I the
right outside the house.
worst? Wha-
So, you were in quite the tizzy when you came running to find me earlier.
I am chilly.
Was it you who found the body?
Yes, ma'am. I found it in the hall, just like you saw.
And what were you doing before that?
Well, I let the boss, I mean, the prince, into the hall to take his phone call. Then I went to the pantry to get more candles for the dining room. I didn't know how long Horatio was going to be with the lights.
Fair.
So, the prince was alone then when you left him in the hall?
Yes, ma'am. Without a doubt.
What cross my
Why then, it appears you may have been the last one to see the poor prince alive.
Or the second to last one, because the last one would have been a killer.
Wouldn't that actually have been the killer, ma'am?
What did I
I
just say?
suppose so. But then, you did just say you were quite certain he was alone.
Until the killer came and killed him.
What do you mean by that? I'm just doing my job here.
Oh yes, of course.
We
I'm
definitely have
sure
to
you're
watch the Clue
quite
movie.
excellent
Yes!
at-
Oh, I love that
well,
movie.
whatever it is that
It's so
valets do.
good. I like that he's just like, I hate you.
My dear Clops, please tell me you didn't really think there might still be a stranger lurking around here in the underbrush.
He has to
Well,
check.
ma'am, no one was watching the door when the prince was in the hall. Whoever did it could have run right out the front door.
I love Tim Curry. Tim Curry seems like
Why,
a
indeed they
delight.
could have. Not much gets by you, it seems. And yet,
I
here
think the
you
next
are,
movie will
searching
be
through the leaves at the
Firestarter
base of the
and People
house.
Under the Stairs. Yo,
With the
okay, I
coast
watched
clear,
Firestarter.
what a furtive stranger, not just a
It was
kept
really
friend.
good. I also watched Christine. I had a Stephen King
I'm
night.
sure he probably did.
Wait, no.
I'm
Are those
just
both Stephen
looking
King?
for footprints.
I think they are. People Under the Stairs. I watched that trailer. That looked
Footprints
so freaking good.
Ah, yes, of course.
I do worry
And
it
have you
contains
found
the
any?
forbidden words because I saw a dog.
No,
But I
ma'am.
still want to watch it. It looks really good.
More's the pity.
I
It
love
would have been
Firestarter. I
so
can't
much
wait
nicer
for the
to believe
remake.
killer was no longer
Yeah!
in the house.
That was good.
Especially with our resident bodyguard busy traipsing through the muck outside.
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm just a valet.
No, don't say just.
Of course you
You're
are.
great. You are not your job.
Can you tell me anything about our late host? Perhaps about this grand announcement of his?
About the boss? I mean, the prince? Sorry, ma'am, but he wasn't the sort to confide in a mere valet like myself.
Oh, come now. I know how it is with servants. You're bound to have seen or heard a thing or two about the house, whether your master knows it or not.
Look, I take my duties seriously. I make it a point not to see things that I'm not supposed to see.
Good man.
Yes, I suppose not seeing things would be rather a specialty of yours.
Wow,
Tell
you're
me,
such an
have you worked for the
ableist.
prince for a long time?
Rude.
Yes, ma'am. Many years now.
I will tell you this. In
And
People
you're
Under the Stairs, the
still
dog in
just a
fact dies, so
valet.
I will warn you. I don't think it's graphic though. Thank you.
Promotions
I
must be
appreciate that
hard to
warning.
come by in
I
your
would have used how what's the website? Does the dog die? I use that for like everything. Cause like
That's
it
right.
sucks and I
In
hate
all
it.
this commotion,
I always
I'd
just
almost
skip over
forgotten
those
the whole
scenes.
reason the prince left
I'm
us
just
was
like,
to take
nope.
a phone call.
Nope, nope.
Do you know who was calling?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, that's a little odd. They didn't give a name.
I asked, but they said the matter was confidential.
So you spoke to them then. Can you describe anything at all about the caller?
Yes, I took the call, and they asked for the prince right away. Which is a bit funny, now that you mention it. I didn't think very many people would have this number. Anyway, pretty sure the caller was a woman. She was all crisp and businesslike, too. I'm afraid I can't tell you more than that.
I suppose it would be too much to hope that this rotting old place would have call display.
No, ma'am. It's a wonder most of the wiring around here even works at all.
Was it Leah? Leah's been shown
Must
with a
be
phone.
magic,
Did Leah make
I
a call in
suppose.
order to distract to let someone else kill him? Or Leah kill him herself? In honor of her friend? Maybe there was going to be a marriage announcement?
There were stories.
And she was
from the
like,
time of
no,
the
my girl
Revolutionary
deserves better.
War, that when soldiers first stormed the grounds of the Lee Manor, ferocious spectral beasts appeared out of nowhere to tear apart the terrified trespassers. Of course, you can't believe everything you hear. But I found myself keeping a watchful eye on the wolf statues in the courtyard, just to be sure.
Oh, so you're being suspicious? Wasn't that something that you were criticizing someone for being? Well, I am the worst!
Flops claimed he had already checked the ground around the house for footprints, but I thought it couldn't hurt to double check.
It's pouring rain. I'm not sure what
Apparently I
evidence
thought
you'll
long
get
ago.
that's
For
great.
As I stepped off the path
Like
into
mud,
the
for
brush,
sure.
The weeds and thorns tore at my skirts and scratched my ankles. You know, I think I'll just take the one-eyed brute's word for it after all.
Wow. Such a good detective.
A rundown shed sat in the corner of the yard. Gingerly, I tried the door, but the wood had swollen, and it seemed stuck in its frame. It was just as well, I suppose. Ugh. Why would I want to go inside a moldy old shed anyway?
Evidence! Evidence! You don't know? There could be clues there. Or the killer. Or like a note, like, it was this person.
I returned to the king bedroom, where I'd been when the whole grisly affair started. I thought it might give me a chance to think by myself, but alas, it was not to be. The curtains were drawn back, and a particularly pernicious twerp of a girl was leaning halfway out the window. After what had already happened, it would be such a shame were she to slip and go out all the way. Young girls these
so
days
bad.
really ought to be more careful.
I hope she kills you. I hope Leah kills my character. For clarification.
My dear little girl, just what are you doing? You're liable to go for quite the little tumble if you keep leaning out the window like that.
I'm trying to get a decent signal.
Oh, for your phone? Yes, it does seem like you young people just can't get by without them these days.
That's such an overused line
I
in
don't care about the
everything.
phone. I want network access.
Whatever for.
So I can hack the phone company records and figure out who called this house.
You can do that, can you?
Yep.
I'm the killer. I'm the killer. I
Yeah.
called.
I hate people staring over my shoulder when I'm working.
No?
Can't you go find a fainting couch and a bottle of smelling salts or something?
I love you, Leah. You're great.
Now, Miss Leah, was it? I'm afraid I just don't know very much about you. Who are you exactly?
I'm Sherry's friend.
I rather gathered that much. But, my dear girl, what with her enormous fortune, social connections, and nauseatingly innocent good looks, I'd imagine the list of people who'd like to be friends with Miss Charisse is rather long. What's special about you?
Because she's genuine?
Fine. My parents were rich too. They're in the tech business. Sherry and I went to private school together. I helped her with math, she helped me be a better person. Fair trade, I hope.
You say were. Have your parents passed away as well?
No, we just don't get along too well right now.
Ah, and your dear old fabulously wealthy school friend took you in. How sweet of her.
I mean, yeah.
I see where you're going with this. And no, I'm not financially dependent on Charisse. Sure, I live with her, but I've got a nice little fund of my own. So I've got no motive to bump off a boyfriend out of fear that he'll kick me out of the house or something like that.
Oh my, perish the thought. I'd never dream of suggesting such a thing.
No, I'm sure you've got much nastier things to save for your dreams.
I love Leah.
So your friend Miss Charisse, just how long had she been seeing our dear departed host?
Not that long, but he seemed pretty intense about it. Nighttime river cruises, the opera, the theater, you name it.
Ah, swept off her feet into a whirlwind romance with a dark and mysterious dashing older man. Your friend must have been positively giddy with excitement.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think she liked him.
Oh, it must have been so hard for you, being left out of all that and resigned to watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, right. That kind of high society stuff isn't really my thing.
No, I suppose not.
Come to think of it, Wizard Boy sometimes looked a little pouty at being left out, though.
Oh?
Did he really? How do you know? Did he tell you so?
So
No, nothing
Leah
like that. Just an
suspects
impression I got.
Horatia?
Not really my business anyway. As long as Sherry's happy, I'm happy. That's all that matters.
I see. So, was she happy?
It was what she wanted. So yeah.
That's
And try
not a
though you
great...
might, you just can't bring yourself to sound happy about that. My, how curious.
Look, if you're gonna pry any further, you'd better go get yourself a crowbar, don't you think?
I'll take a crowbar, just 'cause.
So, your sweet little friend. She can be quite the tease, it seems. I was just talking to her earlier, and she let it drop that this wasn't her first murder case.
You must think you're very clever for worming that out of her. You know, I bet you're one of those people who think they're a lot smarter than they really are, aren't you?
My dear Leah, something like that is not exactly the wisest thing to say when you're perched precariously on the edge of a window.
Open
It's so
threat.
fortunate that I'm in a good mood today.
A good mood. Here, now. How could... No, never mind. I forgot who I was talking to.
In any case, my dear, Miss Charisse said the only other one here who was involved in that case was you. No matter how smart I might or might not think I am, surely you can't blame me for wondering whether it might be relevant to our current predicament.
Well, it's not. Not directly, anyway.
Aha! Not directly. Now we're getting somewhere.
Leah?
Look, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm sure Sherry said the same thing. It was bad. For everyone, but especially for her. The truth she learned that day, she's never going to forget. And she definitely doesn't need you dredging it all up.
Charisse learned her family shady past, that she was a killer, her dark secret.
There's no need to
Okay,
tell
guess
me,
this.
darling. She learned the truth about her family, didn't she? That not all that lovely money of theirs was obtained through, how shall we say, completely honest business.
Oh God.
Monster.
Monster.
Really. Insufferably idealistic young socialite
Hi.
her fortune and
How are
starts
you
rolling
doing?
in
That
every
scared
charitable
me.
cause she can find out of guilt. Oh yes, I know her type well enough.
We learned that a family had been mixed up with some really bad people. No, more than just bad. With true evil.
And so it turns out her life of wealth and comfort was built on the blood of innocence. So very tragic for her, I'm sure.
She just wants to make up for it all. Make it all right again. Sometimes I worry she thinks she can carry the weight of the whole world if she pushes herself hard enough.
Yes, I did say insufferably idealistic, didn't I?
I'm
If
definitely
by
not
that
ashamed
you
at
mean a
how
better
much that
person
scared
than
me.
you'll ever be, then yeah.
Been just
spot on.
in the shadows with
She just
my
needs
son
someone
playing
to watch her
cars.
back.
Aww.
That's all.
And let me guess, you do whatever it takes to keep your dear little friend safe, wouldn't you?
Whatever it takes.
My, such ardor, such resolve. Remind me never to get on your bad side.
Why does
darling.
YouTube take so long to process?
Too late.
I don't know. You render your files way larger capacities than I do, so mine don't
So
take
who
super
was it then
long.
that called the house?
Fell asleep,
I
so I
tell
had to
you,
take a break.
Why don't you
Aww.
leave me alone?
I feel that.
My dear girl, this predicament affects all of us. If you found out
Love the
anything
TikToks.
that might
Oh,
be
thank
least
you.
helpful,
They've been super
surely
fun.
it's
I
all
have like a
our
list of
interest to be
more that I want to
shared.
make. I just have to find time to
I'll
make
take that
them.
as a yes. Fine. The number is 11223344. It's a business number registered to Oxley Accounting Services.
What?
An accountant? Doesn't exactly sound like a social call, now does it?
Who knows? As far as I can tell, this Prince Titanico had some pretty weird friends.
You haven't tried contacting them then?
No, that'd mean talking to more weirdos. I'd rather try and hack into their private emails.
So 11223344, really?
I'll leave you to it, my dear.
Tales of Arise was in 4K, so that was long, but Elden Ring, I'm doing 1080. Oh, Bitcoin was great. Oh, thank you! That was fun. I don't know, but YouTube makes me mad. Fair, fair. I'm gonna leave this room for now. Yeah, when I was uploading the Bitcoin one, immediately, like, my first thought was, my parents are gonna watch this. They have not said anything, so I don't know if they've seen it or not.
In
But
the
like,
Queen bedroom, I found my old social
but that
acquaintance,
the first one I did was
say that I
the
trusted her
like
was
making
going
fun of
much
the
too
we
far.
should see other people
But
one. So I was like
had
dressed up
certainly
like
lived
Harley
longer than anyone
and like
else there
doing like
that evening.
body roll and like making a sex joke.
Besides that,
And
I knew her to have an ear for gossip
not
and an
only
eye for detail.
did my
there
parents
was
watch
anyone
it,
who could tell me a
I
little
posted
more
it while
about
they
the
were at
cast of
my
her
mom was at a
movie.
film festival, and she was
Yes,
like, "Oh yeah, it was a topic of conversation." Because I didn't really understand what you were doing,
you
so
are
I passed the
misfortunate,
phone
darling.
around the entire
So this whole
table,
affair is just
and
dreadful,
everyone
isn't it?
watched it.
Tragic. Truly
I don't know how I feel about that.
Prince Titanico was
But
an
they
eccentric man,
all
but he
saw
knew
it.
how to put on a show.
And they were just like, okay, she's making some kind of sexual reference and then is making a joke because of nerd stuff. I was like,
Are we really sure he didn't plan the whole thing?
I
after
mean,
all?
that's not wrong.
You know, have the last laugh, go out with a bang, that sort of thing.
Yeah, their consensus was, we don't understand it, but it's good for her.
Prince,
I
by
was
all
like, all right.
accounts, was far too fond of himself for that.
Pity. It would have made for such a delicious story. Not to mention no longer having to worry about a possible killer being on the loose.
What was the Bitcoin one? Oh, never mind. That husband one was funny. Oh, thank you. That one was good. That's awesome. It was very funny.
Darling, I have a little confession to make. Although I'd met our good host, well, ex-host, a number of times, I'm afraid I never really knew him, if you understand what I mean.
That was actually something I meant to do today, was record
I
more.
hardly expect you're the only one in that situation.
Instead of recording any, I came up with
The
another
prince
stupid
had
one that I
this
want to do.
maddening habit of talking all the time.
So
and
bad.
Somehow still saying very little.
So was he really a prince then? Do you know?
These days, title really does not mean what it once did. After all, how many do you have now?
Oh, let me see. At least 3. All by marriage, of course. Sometimes it can be hard to keep track.
Well, you're at least a
Just
duchess, I think.
so. No doubt our late prince could make some claim or another. But these days, who can't?
I mean, I can't.
Just about anyone
I
can
would love
claim
to
a
be able to
tenuous
claim a
connection
title
to
and
some
pretend that I
great
was
old
some
family that was
fancy
thought lost in the
schmancy
Revolution.
highfalutin
It's
type.
so hard to prove them wrong. And as long as there
I
isn't
would
a
not
vote
do well in posh
involved,
society.
no one can
It just would not work.
So he called himself a prince, and that's about all anyone knew. He wasn't married or anything, was he?
Good heavens, I hope not. You did see him doting all over our sweet little Charisse, didn't you?
Come now, Comtessa. You and I both know that's proof of nothing.
So cruel, but so true. Still, if he was ever married, I never heard of it.
And you do have such a knack for hearing interesting things, darling. If there was anything to hear, I dare say you would have heard it.
Oh, modesty forbids.
In
Oh, I
any
think it's
case,
music.
It would
It's
seem
like
our late prince was quite
hearing
the
sirens,
enigma
but
then.
then something
At
else.
least I can feel glad that I wasn't the only one in the dark. I don't know about you, but I can't shake the impression that Miss Charisse was, for lack of a better term, the guest of honor this evening. What do you know about her?
Oh, the poor girl. She's an only child, and her parents passed away just recently.
Yes, I feel for her. An enormous inheritance, and all of a sudden no one around to tell her how to spend it. The family, they were industrialists, were they not?
I mean, she seems like a nice girl. She was
That's
probably
right, though by the end,
close to
they
her
were into
parents,
pretty
maybe?
much everything.
Oh.
Manufacturing, banking, real estate, and more. They were a bit close-lipped about their net worth, but certainly one of the richest private families in the empire.
And if I recall correctly, they were a new money family, too. Money-grubbing upstarts. I think I heard them called at court from time to time.
Did you really? I don't doubt it, of course. My word, that place can be just so beastly sometimes.
Actually, I thought that was rather tame. You should hear the things they call me.
This is so funny. So I'm currently
Oh,
watching
yes, they can
Inventing
say such
Anna on
horrid
Netflix,
things
which is that thing about like
widows us.
the
Sometimes
girl
you
who
and I
pretended
have
to be a
swap
German
stories
heiress
of
and
more
like
creative
almost
ones.
fooled
When
banks
success
out of
is
like
more
$20
pleasant,
million
of
or
course.
something insane.
Of course.
This seems very the same kind of vibe. I can't tell if there's a lot going on in this game or literally nothing. Fair. Also, hi, hello, how are you? Well, I do need to figure out, like, who killed the prince. So I'm just, like, interviewing
You know,
everyone.
It was really
to try to
quite
get
shocking. 1 minute the
hints
prince was
or
playing
clues.
host and telling ghost stories, And next thing you know,
But it does
we
seem
all
like a
come
lot of
running, he
fluff,
was
but
down
that also
the
would make
floor.
sense. Like, none of us are detectives, and we're all,
Oh,
or most of us are like
that
sucky
was a
rich people.
surprise of a most unpleasant nature.
Where were you when you heard the news? It was that one-eyed shambler in the ill-fitting coat who found me in the
Yeah,
other
I am the
bedroom.
worst, though.
Did he find you first?
I want to send me to
In
prison.
fact, I was in here, and it was that young man with a decidedly orangish hue who brought me the news.
Our oh-so-helpful Horatio. He must have been done fixing the lights then.
Ratio told
Yes, they'd only just come on. I must say, he was in
Contessa
quite a state, with those robes of his flapping about
news.
everywhere.
But wait, am I in the
would've
king
loved if he didn't
bedroom?
look so
No.
distressed.
Oh, lass, such a
Queen
wasted
bedroom, maybe?
opportunity.
I think I'm in the queen
he
bedroom.
didn't tell me exactly what the matter was at first. I'm not sure he knew himself. He only said that something had happened, and we had to gather everyone together right away.
And our two little darlings. You found them on the way back then?
Precisely. Just as we were coming back down to the main floor.
Well, it's good we've got that all straightened up. With so much running about the house, it's enough to make one's head spin trying to sort it all out.
A murder definitely counts as something. Yes!
Oh
I would
my
agree with that
word,
statement.
Yes. I used to get quite bad headaches myself, especially back when I was with my second husband. Mind you, those only ever seemed to come on when he was telling golfing stories.
My dear, I know exactly what you mean.
Y'all are the worst. Okay, tell me about Leah.
Comtessa, darling, I just heard a delectable little morsel of gossip and simply must share it with someone.
Why, some scrumptious gossip is just what I need right now. Ooh, do tell me more, dear.
Tell me more.
I was talking to the Leah girl, you know, Cherise's little hanger-on, and she hinted that she'd been feuding with her family and was more or less
Hanger
taking
on.
the house.
They're friends?
Oh,
The
my,
Leah girl?
How sad for the poor young thing.
To be honest, if she lived with me, I'm quite sure I'd do the same. But do you know anything about who she is?
I dare say I know a little. Her parents were wealthy moguls in the technology sector. That is, until about a year ago.
Ugh, of course they were. No wonder I didn't know who she was. I find all that technobabble so terribly dull.
Okay, I'm definitely one of those
So, what
people who, like, even if they're speaking a language that I understand, if there are subtitles, I cannot help but read them. Like, I can't just look at them. I have to just also, like, I'll even try to actively, like, look at other things, and my eyes will still just end up in the subtitles.
But the company was ruined.
I see. Do you think, then, that our very own Miss Leah was...
The one to leak the files? Oh, darling, it's unseemly to speculate about such things. All I know is that they always said it must have been an inside job.
A self-righteous brat who will send her own family up the river if that's what it takes to do what she thinks is right. And here I thought I couldn't like her any less than I already did.
I like her more.
So how did you know Prince Titanico then? I met him at an art auction myself. How about you?
Oh, I hardly knew him at all, really. He was an acquaintance of my late husband's. They played cards together sometimes at his club, or so I understand.
I see. Is this the first time you've seen him then, since your husband passed away?
Well, he came to the funeral, but other than that, yes. Yes, it is.
Is that not a
Don't
little
you think
suspicious?
it's a little odd that he would invite you out to a rather small event like this, when your husband was the one he actually knew?
He said he thought I would appreciate the historical nature of the estate. And he's not wrong on that count.
Is this like
Perhaps
a
may have also thought I'd
and
be
then there were
lonely,
none
being
situation?
recently widowed and all. That part's nonsense, of course. A woman in my position gets rather used to it. But it's sweet of the dear boy to try.
Yes, indeed. One does get used to it. Husbands come and go. It's the way of the world, really.
Too true.
Okay. Ooh, breaker room. Okay. How'd the lights go out?
Thanks to my candle here, I should be able to find the light switch. Ah, there we go. With only a little effort, I found my way down to the basement of the old house. Although our little adventure with the lighting had seemed natural enough at the time, given the condition of the house, the prince's murder had colored all of the evening's happenings with a more sinister shading.
What if someone made
Perhaps
sure that the lights were
examining
gonna
the
go
house's
out?
electrical panel for myself would shed some light on the
Oh
mystery.
no. Who did Horatio volunteer to go fix the lights? Or was he told to go fix the lights?
That must be the breaker panel. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
I don't want it to be Horatio.
I don't know much about this sort of thing, but it looks to me that all the switches are on, except for one. Well, fun as it would be to make the little girl faint again, I probably shouldn't touch them for now. Hello. What have we here? It's an electrical timer. I once used one of these in the school breaker room to shut off the lights during my high school exams. You can use it to flip a breaker switch at a predetermined time.
Yep.
The question
So the
is,
killer did it.
just what is it doing here? I'm starting to think our little blackout earlier might have been no accident after all.
Well, duh. If you just said that you found a timer on it, it's definitely not an accident.
The wiring is old, but it looks to me
Is your
like it
character
should
the
all work.
vampire? She clearly murdered
It's
at least 2
a bit of a
people
mess
today.
in
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Hard to
Yeah.
tell just what
She's
goes
been married
where.
9 times. She's definitely killed at least the majority of her husbands. Like, she's already threatened murder on other characters. Like, I will be shocked if I'm not the killer. Maybe I'm not the killer in this, but like, I'm a killer. For sure. Oh, that's all. Okay.
I returned to what the prince had called the proverbial smoke-filled room. It struck me that this would be the perfect place to call everyone and reveal the truth to this mystery. All in good time, of
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know yet. I don't know
In
who
the
did it.
meantime, I thought it wise to take another look around while I still
I have,
the room to myself.
like 1 page's worth of clues. That's not enough? Oh my god, I can immediately gather people.
That cabinet had a few things of interest in it, if I remember correctly. Let's take a closer look.
The knife is missing. The knife is missing!
In the cabinet,
There was a
there
knife
an odd
here
little doll that
during the
seemed to be made
tour.
of
That's gonna be
straw.
the murder weapon.
Was it some kind of voodoo doll? I tried making those a time or two myself, although, to my great dismay, they never seemed to actually work quite right.
That's concerning, ma'am. Okay.
A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking somewhat forlorn. Surely it was meant to showcase something more interesting.
Yeah.
But there was nothing on it now.
Yeah.
I could swear that something had been on this cushion before.
A knife.
Just what was it?
A knife. It wasn't any of this stuff. It was a knife. But no, it wasn't any of this. What? Why can't I back out? I don't have the weapon yet. No. I want... Can I... Oh, fudge. Can I not? I would like to back out. But it's none of this stuff. Why can't I do... Oh no! I pushed the wrong button. I pushed the wrong button. Where's my stream? Oh gosh. Oh. Okay, God. I accidentally clicked out of the screen and changed my view on on Streamlabs. It wasn't any of this. Yeah, I know it wasn't that. Duh. Okay, I need to find that knife.
The strange pose of the statue in the corner of the room rather reminded me of my third husband.
What?
You see, the last time I saw the dear old boy, he was in the process of losing his balance and tumbling down the whole stairs.
You pushed him, didn't you?
Terrible tragedy, really. I had to have those stairs completely replaced just to get the blood out.
You are a sociopath. Oh.
The large crystal globe in the cabinet was impossible to miss.
Yeah, that looks like a demon.
It seemed to be filled with a swirling red mist of some kind, and as I stared into it, I thought for a moment that I could see a pair of malevolent eyes. Or was it just one, staring back?
Are you trying to throw suspicion on Klops? Because no.
But surely it must have just been my reflection in combination with the dim light. On one side of the room, there was a wine rack filled with dusty old bottles. Most were empty, but a few still contained small amounts of what must have been very well-aged red wine. At least, I hoped it was just wine. With a family like the Lees, one could never be quite sure. Perhaps I should take a bottle with me to check it later, just in case.
Would they bottle blood? Okay, well, I took the wine bottle. I made that choice. Not caring if I might get blood instead. Okay. I definitely want to talk to Horatio again, who's in the dining hall. 'Cause I have some questions.
So, that Klops fellow, he was the prince's valet. Have I got that right?
Yes, that's right. Mr. Tor is the butler, but today's his day out.
So is he, a good valet then? I only ask because I just found him skulking about in the brush outside, and I wasn't really sure if that was the sort of things valets usually do.
Was he now? Well, I can't say I know terribly much about the exact duties of my dear friend's household staff, but I know he did some gardening from time to time.
Indeed, gardening. I believe he said something along those lines as well.
Yes, well, he was quite good at whacking weeds. Or so I heard.
I suppose that sounds
Suspicious?
about right. If I were a weed, or really, even if I wasn't, I wouldn't want to get whacked by him either.
I'm
Was he
just
happy with his
gardening.
wife? Do you know?
Hello, how are
Come
you?
to think of it, he did seem a bit jealous of Mr. Tor's position from time to time.
No doubt being a butler pays better than a mere valet. Though I'm not sure how either stacks up against a grand magus.
Ahem. Need I remind you, Miss Fortune, I am not, was not, an employee of the prince's household.
But of course, how silly of me. So back to Mr. Klops then. Do you know if he had issues with money? Might he badly have needed a raise?
Really couldn't say. Perhaps someone on the staff did, though. I did sometimes hear Mr. Tor complain about small valuables going missing.
So very interesting. You've been a great help, my dear Horatio.
It is my pleasure to be of service.
I love him.
Horatio, dear, are you certain you won't tell me about this special announcement that the prince was going to make?
Of course. My lips are sealed.
Oh, ho-hum. Then I suppose I'll just have to tell you about it.
You... what?
What?
It had to do with this, didn't it?
I don't have clues? What? What? I don't think it's that. Why?
How about this? Wait. That's not what I meant. Pretend you didn't see that. What I really meant to show you was,
I don't have evidence yet to show. Stop putting me in these weird prompts.
Horatio, my dear, I'm so sorry, but I'm afraid you've got some explaining to do.
Now, Miss Fortune, I already told you, a magician...
Yes, never reveals his secrets and all that. Why don't we just skip to the part where you tell me what this is all about?
Where did you find that?
In the breaker room, darling. Right where you left it.
Oh.
Here's the part where you start talking then.
Well, you're right. I put it there. It was Titanico's idea. He thought the whole blackout business would add some drama to the evening.
An excuse to startle us. Especially poor little Miss Charisse. So there was nothing wrong with the wiring then?
Nothing at all. That's why he had to make sure to send me to deal with it.
Ah.
So, you were the only other one who knew about this little special effect then?
Yes, I do believe so. I did say that the prince often took me into his confidence, didn't I?
Yes, several times, I think.
Well, you won't tell anyone else, will you? As you can see, it had nothing to do with the murder.
It does seem that way, I suppose. At least, for now.
What if I call that number? Can I
The phone
call it?
itself was heavy, made of metal, and certainly quite old-fashioned. Normal, but why is the receiver dangling?
No? Dang. Okay. I'd like to talk to you. That guy looks
So,
dead.
my poor little girl.
He
I
is. He
was
is very
talking to my
dead.
friend, the Comtesse,
I'm trying to
and she
solve
told me she'd
his
heard people
murder.
in court say the rudest things
I would
about your
like,
late
though,
family.
just like in a casual game, there's just a dead body. No one acknowledges it. It's just there.
Suppose they might have done. Sometimes people will say things that are quite unkind. I try not to let it bother me.
Still, it must be awfully hard being a new money family when there are so many busybodies who go on and on about tradition and blue blood and that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't think so. Some people will say cruel things about anybody. I've heard them say things even about the Comtessa, too. So it wasn't just us.
About the Comtessa, really? I thought you said you didn't listen to that sort of thing.
Maybe he slipped and fell to the gunshot.
I try not to. But Titanico
Could've.
talked about it sometimes. I think he knew the Comtessa's last husband before he passed away.
Or whatever was the method. Yeah, he was
Surely he didn't imply that she was in any way
stabbed
responsible.
and burned
That
in a
would be
broken leg,
unthinkable.
but I do think he could have just tripped and had all that happen.
He did say there were rumors. But I'm sure that's all they were. Like I said, people say nasty things sometimes.
Yes, my dear. They most certainly do.
Okay. Gonna actually relook at the body.
There was something odd about the prince's right hand. I knelt down to get as close a look. I checked the left hand as well. The prince's the wound itself. The prince was could simply collapsing on the
Like, very good deduction. As Sherlock Holmes says, when you disapprove everything possible, then whatever is left, no matter how unlikely, is true. Yes. I think that that makes sense. Leah. Does Leah have anything new? No.
Had these books on the shelf belonged to A History of the Republic. The elaborate carvings on the wood was this preferable. I'd hope that by shred. For just the slightest of moments, I considered collapsing into the antique red chair in the room's corner. After all, then I remembered that spiderwebs don't just come out of nowhere, and that upholstery is a prime place for the little nasties to hide. I simply adore old chair. Modern light fiction. Just what kind of skeletons did the leaf? I must confess, I have a terrible weakness for things. The air in the old house, even up.
examine the room? I don't know if I did.
On a small table near the center of the room sat a little book, the kind one could write in. Could it be a diary?
I must say
And
that
by
conclusion
reading
to
it,
that last game was
might I see
unsatisfying.
the
Yeah!
into the inner life of
That was
someone
annoying.
once mighty elite family.
So I
But to
found
my
out if you
great
choose to wake up, Sotomi actually takes control of your body,
Ah,
which
well,
I missed that
I
post-credits
suppose that hoping to
cutscene,
discover the
but that
defiant
was at
last
least
words of the
something.
infamous Lamica League of Blood really would have been a
But
bit
yeah,
much
I
to
wanted, I don't know, something a bit more. Especially with all
I
that
couldn't
time they
make out the
put
lady
into
in the
it.
old portrait, but I assumed it must be some grand old dame of the Lee household. Why had she been left behind, I wondered? Had the rest of the family simply not liked her? Mind you, if I ever had to sell one of my estates, I'd rather fancy leaving behind as many self-portraits as I could spare. You know, just so that the new owners would feel like I was keeping an eye on them.
Spend lots of mental energy to come up with the theories, and in the end, you didn't have a chance to solve it without just guessing. Yeah. And it's like, I get what they were trying to do, but it just, you know, it was very reminiscent of Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a great game, but it's a great game with which had an interesting ending, and it was also like half the length. So I get why they were trying to do that, but especially given what the endings were, it should have been a fraction of the gameplay length.
A set of old vases sat on the dresser. Could there possibly still be anything in them? The neck of the nearest vase was too narrow for me to see anything inside.
Are we gonna find the knife?
I suppose I could have stuck my hand in to feel around, but there could easily be a mouse or a spider lurking in there. No, that would be a much more suitable job for Miss Charisse and those small, dainty hands of hers, I think.
Then again, he spent a lot of time trying to get a girlfriend, then waking up as still a virgin. Would it make anyone mad? I mean, as a virgin with no interest in sex, I didn't mind that at all. Wait, what? Oh,
I
pillow.
helpfully noted the garish red color of the bed the first time
Oh,
I
right.
visited the room. But this time, something looked off. Near the top of
But
the
it was
bed,
odd.
the
I don't
color
know.
looked
It was
darker than
like,
before. I reached beneath
I
the
just
pillows,
wanted
sure
more.
enough,
Because also it seemed like really weirdly abrupt. Oh my god, I
it
found
was
the
a
knife!
knife with a distinctively wavy blade. A blade that was covered with blood.
Okay, we found the
I'd
knife.
wager a good portion of my last husband's life insurance that
Okay,
the blood
and we
belonged
found
to
it.
Prince Titanico himself. I say, darling, what have you got there?
Found in Queen
Well,
bedroom.
it seems to be a knife. I found it here under the pillow. A knife? Goodness, do you think it could be the murder weapon?
Probably.
I'm not sure, but it very well could be.
No, don't leave it here.
Let's just leave it here, shall we? I'm sure the police will want to know about it later,
No.
but for now, it will be our little secret.
No.
Very well, dear. I do so love a good secret.
No. Girl, no. Okay, wait, can I go to the... If I go to the smoking room, will it click in my brain that it's the knife from the cabinet?
A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking so... I could swear...
Yeah, the knife.
That was it. There had been a knife on the cushion during our tour. I was sure of it. And not just any knife. The knife that may have stabbed the prince. But who could have taken it? I cast my mind back, trying to remember if anyone had lingered behind for even a moment. But it availed me nothing. The prince had been the first to leave the room, but that was the only thing of which I was certain.
Okay. Used as a light source for the poor. Wow.
Goodness, the evening must be wearing on me more than I thought. A knife? In my bag? It's even flecked with blood.
I'm sorry, what?
And what's this? A ring? It looks decidedly pricey, but it's not one of mine.
Who put this in my bag?
How did it get here? For just a moment, I was confused. But then the gruesome sight of Titanico's body flooded my thoughts, and the truth hit me. I was being set up. Almost certainly, what I held in my hands was the knife that had stabbed the prince.
I don't think it is. I think it's the wavy knife that you found.
I don't know how it got in my purse, but whoever put it there had made a mistake. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that anyone
Oh
who
no,
tries
I
to
don't know
frame
how
me
that got
for
there,
murder
Mr. Policeman, right?
regret it.
Oh no. Oops. Oh, and they're so similar, but also this. Okay, I'm gonna go to Horatio. I think the announcement was gonna be an engagement, so I'm gonna try showing him the ring.
Horatio.
Of course.
Oh,
You...
it had to do with.
This.
Alakazam. How did you get that?
I rather wish I knew that myself. But for now, I think it's best to stay on track while the wizard is still wonderstruck. Tut-tut, my dear. Magicians aren't the only ones who get to keep secrets. The important thing is what the prince planned to do with it. It was his, wasn't it?
Well, yes. I mean, it was. Well, it wasn't exactly for him, you see. Yet, I mean...
He was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
propose, just say that.
No need to worry, darling. I already know exactly what it was for. It's simple, really. He was going to propose to Charisse.
And what makes you say that?
Come now, my dear. It doesn't take a fortune teller to see that he'd been doing everything in his power to sweep her off her feet. Add to that a diamond ring sized
I mean, not
for
doing a
so
great job
little
of it, though.
fingers, and the story all but writes itself.
It is true that he was quite, taken with her, yes. I mean, who wouldn't be, really?
Oh, yes. Sweet, demure, pliable, and very, very rich. Just the type for the prince, I'm sure.
You're not going to tell Miss Charisse about this, are you? Surely it would only make things even harder for her.
No, at least not yet. Like I said, sometimes I like to have a secret or two up my sleeve myself. But confirming that I was right about the prince's intent certainly does paint this mystery in a whole new light.
Do I... Okay, wait, I also have... I'm doodling what items I have in my inventory so I can try to figure out where they go. Yeah, the wine. And the wire tip. But, like, I want to have more. Also, really? You think this is a rich ring? Is this an adjustable band? Quality rings do not have just adjustable bands like that. Just saying. I will talk to Charisse again. I want to ask Leah, though, about this tech stuff. Also, where does the wine come in? Ugh. Okay, or not. Leah? Anything new for you? Oh, maybe I should go mess with the wires. I don't have a reason to yet, though.
The wiring is old, but it looks to me like it should all work.
No? Okay. If you get the size fit, how are you supposed to use it again for your next wife? Oh, that's good. That's, you know, fair. I want, I guess I should just keep talking to people and see if something comes up. No. I don't think I missed anything. Like, clickable.
A rundown shed sat. It was just. Apparently,
There's gotta be a person that now that I have different items, I can talk to, like with Horatio. I want it to be Leah. I also want to be able to try to use the phone number that I have so I can call. Talk to this girl again. Like, hey, we found that knife. No. Dang. Can I use the phone? I really want to use the phone.
the phone itself was heavy, made of metal, and certainly quite old-fashioned. Normally, that's the sort of style I prefer, but right now, a call. But why is. The prince's most obvious, and the wound itself was.
What can I do to find the next advancement of clue? Who haven't I talked to? Therese, Horatio, Klops, Leah, Comtessa. No one, no one. But, like... can't solve it yet. So, like, someone was listening. There are glasses in here. Will the fact that I have a wine bottle do anything? Or do I have more convo options with him? No.
Long, narrow tables stretched down either side of the room for what I mean, it didn't look like poison had anything. Long, narrow I mean...
Murder statue? Was it you?
At first. Inside the lantern was a candle. I doubt... Inside the lantern was a...
Didn't I already have a candle? Did I take another candle? I have to be missing something. Obviously. I'm missing a lot of things. But what?
The strange pose of terrible trap. The large crystal... but... On one side of the room, at least. In the cabinet. A padded velvet cushion. I could swear that's... Yes, that was it. But who could have taken...
So I must have missed something when looking around. Something that's gonna trigger a thing. I'm very close to, like, looking it up.
The elaborate card was this had these books on the a history of the Republic. I'd hope that by shredded for just the slightest, then I simply modern life. Just what kind of I must. The air in the old, even
Okay.
So, who...
If I tell you,
My...
I'll take that as a yes.
An account.
Who knows?
You haven't tried con...
No.
I'll leave you...
I'm missing something, though. But what? What am I missing? Can I use the phone? Is that a thing I can do? Where's the... guide? I can... wait. Select the phone to dial. Okay, so I can dial the phone. I tried. I must not have been clicking right. I don't want to cheat, but I'm just like, I should be able to call the thing.
I suppose I could dial a number here.
11222334.
Oxley Accounting Office.
I guess I clicked in the wrong spot.
That's what that Leah girl had said.
What you got?
Oxley Accounting Offices, Oxley speaking. Are you a new or pre-existing client?
To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure.
I see. That doesn't bode well for the organizational state of your paperwork.
Fair?
Actually, I'm calling on behalf of a friend.
In that case, please be advised then that I will only be able to answer the most basic of queries without certified written permission from your associate, or friend, as you call them.
Sadly, I fear my friend's signature would be difficult to obtain at the moment, but I think basic queries will do well enough for now. Might you happen to know a man called Prince Titanico?
I am familiar with that name, yes. In fact, I was hoping I might speak to him. Is he there?
I'm afraid that really won't be possible.
Very well. In that case, please inform him I will continue to try to contact him at regular intervals.
Oh, you can try. Can you tell me, was Prince Titanico a client of your office?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
But if you're calling
But
him...
if you're trying to contact him, you must have some kind of business relation with him.
Right?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
You can be just insufferably obstinate, can't you?
If by that you mean thoroughly professional, then yes.
You go, person.
Same thing, really. Now, Miss Oxley, was it? You sound like a very organized person. Can you tell me if you called this number earlier this evening?
Yes, I log all of my calls, both incoming and outgoing. And yes, I did call this number at 8:32 p.m. Sharp, of course.
Yes, 8:30. That sounds about right. Wait a minute. Isn't that rather late for an accounting office to still be open?
An 8-hour business day is standard in many sectors, but we take our work very seriously here at Oxley Accounting. Besides which, it was requested that I call at precisely that time.
Oh?
Requested? How odd. Requested by whom?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
Oh, of course you're not. How silly of me. Can you at least tell me if you spoke to anyone when you called?
Yes, the call was answered. I asked to speak with a particular individual and was told to wait.
And you did wait then?
For 4 minutes and 36 seconds, yes.
And after such an oddly specific yet arbitrary amount of time, you hung up?
introduced myself again, and then they hung up.
How rude. To think anyone could hang up on such an obviously charming personality as yours.
Huh.
Miss Oxley, I'm not entirely sure how to tell you this, but Prince Titanico is dead.
I see. That will definitely have some ramifications for my paperwork.
Yeah?
Not only that, but it seems rather likely that he was killed precisely when he came to answer your phone call.
Noted. I suppose that explains why he hung up so abruptly and didn't call back.
Yes, didn't you find that a little bit odd at the time?
Not really. For certain types of business, it's quite common to encounter some reluctance on behalf of the other party.
But hang on, I thought the prince was your client. Why would he be reluctant to speak with his own accountant?
Accounting is not the only service we provide at our office. We also perform audits, credit checks, and financial investigations of various sorts.
First off, you
course,
forgot your Oxford
now
comma.
It makes sense. The
Second.
prince was being audited, wasn't he?
In the absence of written consent, I am not authorized to provide that information.
It's quite all right, dearie. I can connect the dots myself. You've been ever so helpful. In spite of yourself, really.
You are welcome to log your opinion of our interaction on our office's website feedback form. Now, exactly who was I speaking with again? Are you with the police?
Ah, no. They're on their way. My name's Misfortune. I'm one of the guests.
I'm quite sure that name has been in my files before. Something to do with a possible inheritance tax irregularity from
Goodbye.
a deceased spouse? Let me check.
That won't be necessary. Besides, the wiring is a bit dodgy in this place. The phone could go out at any moment. Ta-ta then!
You piece of work. Okay. So he probably wanted to marry Charisse for money. I'm gonna... Manor Grounds? Do I talk to... Klops again? I don't want to just cheat. I want to figure it out. Maybe Horatio? Because also, like, wine? I still have the wine. Okay, wait. Which clothes have I used? I've used this. And this. This. Okay. Oh, maybe I should talk to Leah. Because Leah got me the number. And could maybe tell me about the extra cable on the phone?
So, who was it that...
If I tell you,
My dear,
I'll take that as a...
an account.
Who knows?
You haven't tried
No, let me...
I'll leave you to it, my...
Fudge. Okay. 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 Was the prince being audited? Or was maybe he was investigating Charisse before proposing? Okay. Okay. Okay, look at the guide again. What ones have I don't want to scroll down. Talk to Charisse. I got the candle. I made the phone call. I got that knife. Did the timer. Dining room, talk to Horatio. Timer, ring, yeah. Oh, that's it? I'm supposed to know who the murderer is? I don't. I'm not gonna scroll down further though, but it says to gather everyone. Oh, this is... Oh, but I don't. Who do I think it is? Or will it prompt things? I mean, I guess I'm ready. I'm not. I have no idea. I don't know who did it.
The police weren't yet here, but it made no matter. I had seen everything I needed to see.
Did I?
It was time to lay this mystery to rest and expose the guilty party for all to see.
Okay, are you gonna just take it away?
I do so love it when someone other than me gets their comeuppance.
But who did it? I certainly don't know.
Wonderful. Everyone's here. I guess that means we can begin.
You gonna Sherlock Holmes it?
What exactly?
And just be like, oh, this evidence points to these other things you couldn't have
Why,
possibly known,
exposing the
so
murderer,
I know
of
the answer.
course.
You mean you know who it is?
Of course I do, my dear. Don't you?
Well, no. I'm not sure. At least not yet.
Pity. You were the one who said we had to see the truth for ourselves or something, weren't you? Well, it's a good thing that at least one of us has been busy this past little while.
Come now, darling, you simply can't keep us in suspense like this. Are you going to tell us or not?
Yeah, after all this, it better be good. Not that I'm getting my hopes up or anything, mind you.
Tut tut. All in good time, my dear little girl. First, we all need to agree on some basic facts. Mr. Klops, you've been posted out in front of the house ever since we found the body, yes?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
And did you see anyone leaving the house? Or anybody hanging about at all?
No, ma'am. There was no one there.
I think it might be
And nobody
Horatio,
would've
which
got
makes
past
me very
that's
sad.
for sure.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't. That glowering gaze of yours alone would be enough to send them scurrying back the way they came. As for the rest of us, did anyone find any trace of a break-in? Broken windows?
It could also
muddy
be
footprints?
Klops.
Anything at all?
Indeed not. I saw nothing of the sort, and if I might say so, a magician's eyes are trained to spot even the smallest of details.
I didn't see anything either.
Not a thing.
Good then, so we agree. Nobody else has entered or left the house, which means that the killer is one of us, right here in this room.
Or Contessa. I'm not ruling her out.
Hmm.
I'm not really ruling pretty much anyone out.
Darling, this is just
I don't think it's
too
Leah.
much. If you make us wait even a moment more, I shall need a glass of brandy and a bottle of smelling salts.
Oh, I'll take more orange juice. If someone is getting drinks, that is.
Yes, sir. But first, how about we hear who did it?
This is it then. There's no going back. It's time to end this. Whoever I
You do
point
it.
to now is not going to be terribly pleased with me.
No!
But that's fine, as I'm not terribly pleased with them either.
But I don't know.
If they wanted to have half a chance of getting away with this, they made a most misfortunate choice.
Don't make me
in
pick.
trying
You
to
pick. No! I don't know. I don't know. How am I supposed to know from this limited information? Okay, I'm gonna wait. I need to look up a spoiler-free guide on my phone, because I have a feeling I need to... that can't be... It can't be this. Like... How am I supposed to know? Wait, I'm saving it this list of names. Oh, I don't... It really does want me to... What? I think I know. So the game guide that I'm looking at doesn't say the name, but the things around it point to who I was most suspicious of as well. So I'm gonna choose Horatio.
It was you, Horatio. You killed Prince Titanico.
Me? Misfortune, surely you jest.
I don't know if this is right.
Horatio.
It certainly
my
feels
dear.
wrong.
I think we all agree that if anyone here is a jester, it's definitely you.
No. I am not a jester. A wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock, if you will. I'm absolutely sure we've been over this before.
Yeah. Grand Goofus of the Court or whatever it was. Can we get to the point? Why do you think he did it?
Yes, why would I kill my oldest and closest friend? I am more distraught by this terrible affair than anyone. Completely and utterly distraught.
What? Phone. Hush.
Yes, motive. To answer that question, I think we need to first understand why we're all here for this little party at all. Before he left us for the last time, the prince said that he would return with an announcement. I have an inkling of what it might have been.
Moving into this house.
From the beginning, I've had the nagging impression that this entire evening was a show staged for just one special someone.
Which, like,
that someone
terribly done.
is you, Miss Charisse.
A show? For me?
He shouldn't have.
Yes.
This is not the kind of place for her.
It's no secret to any of us at this point that you and the prince had been, shall we say, stepping out as of late. And so the climax to the prince's little drama is obvious. He was going to ask for your hand in marriage. That's why he had this with him, isn't it?
Hey, where'd you get that?
Now, all in good time.
See, it would make
now,
sense
it's
because
enough to prove the
Horatio
prince's intent.
had the opportunity to
Don't
put
look
that knife in
surprised,
that
my dear.
room. And, like, multiple characters were
No.
suspicious of him.
Not completely surprised.
But, like,
anyway.
My, a grand public proposal then.
it still feels wrong.
That's my friend. He was always such an incurable romantic.
Romantic? Oh, you poor naive boy. This was nothing of the sort. It was a cold, calculated move designed by the prince to get the result he wanted. Whisk the object of his affections out of her element into a strange and unfamiliar house, frighten her with ghost stories all evening, and then make a sweeping public proposal in front of a group of high society strangers like myself and the Comtessa. Oh, yes, indeed. What girl wouldn't want all of that, I ask you?
Charisse wouldn't.
Horatio, my friend. Tonight will be the night. I have arranged a nice little soiree at the Lee Manor. Just a small affair, so as to be intimate, but with guests that my beloved does not know well. The setting should be perfect.
And you're going to propose right there, in front of everyone?
Yes, when the time is right. Of course, we must set the mood first. A flash of lightning, a clap of thunder, a macabre historical tidbit or two, and perhaps a little surprise courtesy of your talent.
Did you want to scare her
Just
to death?
add a little more flair.
But how would that give you money?
Why, of course. I can conjure up just the thing for you, I'm sure. But do you really think this will work?
My dear friend, how little you understand of the fair sex. This girl, she is pure as the fallen snow. She only sees the best in everyone. We have nothing to fear. She will be as putty in my hands.
I really must confess, it was all quite masterfully done. Rejecting a proposal under such circumstances would be unbelievably
okay.
awkward, both socially and psychologically. Not a bad one to remember from my own books, I think.
This is all pure conjecture and, I might add, completely ridiculous.
Yes, you would be quite the authority on the ridiculous, wouldn't you?
But be all of that as as it may, you still have yet to get to the part where I have even the slightest reason to kill anybody.
Is that so? I rather thought by this point that would be obvious.
He did say he liked her. Does he want to marry her or just protect her?
It's the oldest tale in the book, really. Two men, one beautiful, charming, and extraordinarily wealthy young girl. You couldn't let Titanico marry Charisse because you wanted to marry her yourself.
That's...
All of your life, you've lived in your friend's shadow, haven't you? And here he was, planning to marry a dream wife under your very nose. It was too much. He had to be stopped. She had to be yours.
Well, now, you see, you look here. While, of course, I have nothing but admiration for Miss Charisse, I mean, it's just, as you say, who wouldn't? But the incontrovertible point here is, how could I possibly have killed the prince when I was the one in the basement busily fixing the lights at the time?
Ah, excellent. So we've moved on from the why to the how. Indeed. How was the prince killed after all?
How? Don't we know how? Took a shiv right to the back.
I'm not so sure it's that simple.
To be fair, we can't really fault Mr. Klops here for seeing only half the picture. The prince was stabbed.
Again,
yes.
with the ableism.
But is that what killed him? I think that the prince...
What if he was electrocuted? What if he was on the phone? No. Yes? I think all three of these things happened. But if he was in the basement, it would have had to have been electrocuted.
Was attacked in quite a clever way, really. He was stabbed, yes, but that wasn't until he was already dead, or very close
Like
to
electrocuted on the
First,
phone and
it.
fell?
He was electrocuted.
And then stopped?
Electrocuted? Good heavens! You mean the bad wiring?
Oh no, this was no accident. If you check the phone closely, you'll see it's got this rather sneaky extra wire hooked up to it. The phone's an older model with a metal casing.
I'm like eating this
so
up.
If the wire was alive,
It's like a Poirot
Oh,
or
I
a
get
Miss
it.
Marple.
The prince got shocked by the phone and tumbled off the balcony.
And broke his leg from the fall. After that, he was stabbed, too. It's monstrous.
Hang on, but I picked up that phone. I didn't get shocked.
no, because at that point the wire wasn't live. But someone could have turned it on in the meantime. Someone in the breaker room.
Oh.
So when I told the boss about the call in the dining room and he went to go get it,
Exactly. By the time he reached the phone, the wire was live.
Now, just wait 1 minute here. Since I was down in the breaker room at the time, how could I possibly have timed all of this?
Because
so
someone
precisely?
said to call at a
There's
particular
no way
time, and you know
anyone
when the
could hear
timer
phone
was
ringing from the
set.
basement.
It's true, we didn't even hear it from the dining room.
My dear Horatio, I can't believe that I'm the one reminding us of all of this. But you are a magician. You had it all planned out from the beginning. Getting the timing right was easy because... you were the one to tip off the caller. That call came from a financial auditor, a rather fastidious one who had been expressly asked to call at precisely the time that she did.
An auditor? Oh my word. Was the prince in trouble then? I simply had no idea.
Of course you didn't. Masquerading at being successful was Titanico's main talent.
I'm into this.
And interesting theory, Misfortune. But you can't possibly have a shred of proof. And why would I tattle on my friend to a financial auditor?
You said yourself, more than enough times, that you were the only one the prince would take into his confidence. So no doubt you knew of his troubles. As for why, didn't I mention that earlier? That was another reason you had to act now. You knew that once they were married, the prince planned to bleed poor little Charisse dry to pay off his creditors. No. Much better that he die now, and that his debts die with him.
Well, what about the stabbing then? Did I do that by remote too?
Oh, shoot.
At last. I think it's time to play my trump card. By slipping the knife and the ring into my bag, the killer had hoped to set me up. But that had been their biggest mistake.
How?
In reality, all they did was give me the evidence I need to put an end to this.
How?
Yes, stabbing. A bit curious, don't you think? Between the high-voltage shock and the fall, the prince was almost certainly finished already. Why take the risk to stab a man who was already dead?
Was it just for the framing?
I give up. Why?
Quite simply, because stabbing leaves a mark. A mark that would draw our attention away from the real method of death. And one that lets you plant incriminating evidence on another guest to take the fall for your misdeeds. Evidence like this.
Hey, that's...
There's blood on it. Misfortune. Where did you...
Why, I found it in my handbag, dear. Exactly where the killer wanted all of you to find it.
So that's it then? That's the knife that stabbed the prince.
Well...
There's a second knife!
Actually, this isn't the knife that stabbed the prince. But we are meant to think that it was.
But the blade. I'm sure it's a match for the wound.
Indeed. But this knife has a twin. I found it hidden under the pillow in the queen bedroom. The Comtessa was there. She'll tell you the same.
Oh, yes, indeed. And there was blood on it as well.
In fact, wasn't that the very room you were in when the body was found, Comtessa? Tell me again. Who was it that came to get you then?
Horatio!
It was Horatio. Oh!
And you think Mr. Horatio stabbed the prince with that knife after shocking him from the breaker room? And then hid it in the bed where he found the Comtessa?
Quite so.
Hey, wait. That doesn't add up.
Add up? Mr. Klops, I never would have guessed arithmetic was your strong suit.
I found the boss. I mean, the prince. Almost as soon as the lights came on. So Horatio must have been back in the basement by then.
Perhaps he hurried back here after finishing with the unseemly stabbing?
No way. No time. It's quite a ways to the cellar. Running all the way up from there after shocking the phone, stabbing the boss, then all the way back down in time to flip the lights back on, all in the dark, too.
Did you have
Not a
time
chance.
to see the stab wound? Did he do it after?
You see, Misfortune? Even Klops here can see that your version of events is complete nonsense. How are you going to explain this one?
Simple. Magic.
Uh-huh. You know, he doesn't really have magic, right?
Oh, I assure you, this is magic of the most mundane variety. You see, down in the basement, there's a little timer hooked up to the breaker. That's what caused our blackout earlier, by the way. All part of the show to emotionally destabilize poor little Charisse here. But if that timer could be used to flip a breaker once, why not again?
Oh, I see it. So Horatio goes to the basement, and instead of flipping the lights on right away, sets the timer again to turn them back on in a few minutes.
Why, aren't you the smartest little thing?
Gives
Get
him
your teacher to
time
give
to
you a
go
gold
do.
star for
Yeah,
that
okay.
one. Yes, as you can see, he didn't have to make it all the way back to the basement. Just as far as the stairwell, so he could pretend to be coming back up.
Yeah, I guess there'd be time in that case.
Well, if you're all good and finished, there's just one important fact I'd like to point out. Right now, you have that knife, and I don't. Even if there was a second knife, which you could very well have planted yourself, I might add, at some point, you seem to think I somehow gave you this one. Seeing as I've apparently been spending all of my time running back and forth from the basement, arranging that little trick sounds impossible, even for my abilities.
This is it. The last piece of the puzzle. Get this right, and the wizard's house of cards will collapse like the flimsy sham that it is.
I have no idea. Oh god. Oh no. I don't know. She's in the hall, the tour, dining room blackout, finding the body, investigation start. Was it investigation start? Okay, I am gonna cheat on this because if this is the last one, I don't want to get it wrong. Oh! I don't know how I would have known.
Of course. That's it. Everything comes back to that moment. That blackout was the key to the
I'm sorry,
whole
I
plan
cheated.
all along.
I'm not sorry, but I did cheat.
That, my dear would-be wizard, is simplicity itself. It was during the perfect moment that you yourself have admitted to having engineered. The blackout in the dining room.
I guess I got my bag when the investigation started.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Thank you. I was just a bit startled.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror. I dare
I mean,
say
I would
may
frame
kill
you too.
myself, delicate flower that I am.
Please, Misfortune, allow me. I've got you now.
Ah! Okay, okay.
On second
I
thought,
did not
you
remember
can
that,
hand me.
but that's
I
right.
seem to be quite all right.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I guess that was a little weird, wasn't it?
He put the extra knife and the ring in your purse right then, when we could barely see anything.
Just so. I have no doubt the blood on my knife belongs to the prince, but no doubt it was easy for Titanico's closest confidant to collect a little sample in advance. And as for the ring, well, we were meant to think that I took it off the prince. In fact, that's exactly where you thought it was. Wasn't it, Mr. Klops?
Me? What have I got to do with this?
Mr. Klops, I'm sorry, but I saw you go into the hall when you found the body. And it seemed to me you were in there for a little too long.
Not for long enough to kill a man, of course, but long enough to give his pockets a quick search for some valuable jewelry that you thought no one would miss.
Ah, so you were the thief.
Well, I mean, it's not like he was gonna need it, right?
Naturally not.
That makes sense then.
The
Oh, this
prince
is
was
like a
never carrying the
Christie.
ring himself, of course. That's a job you give to your best man. Although, perhaps in this case, I think worst man would be more appropriate. Wouldn't you say, Horatio?
Ah!
You! How dare you! My sweet Charisse, don't listen to a word of it.
Hey, back off, you creep.
I'm sorry, he
Don't
could
you
actually do
understand?
magic?
He was only using you. It was I who was meant to be with you.
Oh
not
no,
him.
sir,
We
no,
would've
don't
been
be weird.
Perfect together. This was the life I've been waiting for. This was the life I deserved.
No.
No. You're nothing but craven villains. You and the prince both. You deserve exactly the company you got. Each other.
Yes.
Misfortune. This is all your fault. You ruined everything. Everything! You will regret this. You will feel the fire of a warlock's wrath!
That felt good.
Mr. Klops, I don't know about your skills as a valet, but if I ever have need of a battering ram, I shall be most certain to give you a
Yes,
call.
Klops! Yes!
Very pleased to have been of service, ma'am.
I love him.
Goodness, after a finish like that, I shall need my doctor to prescribe me a sedative. Oh my word, I think the police are here at last. I shall let them in.
Gotta say, glad that's over. I have to wonder though, did he really think Sherry would fall for him so easily after offing her old boyfriend?
What?
A shared traumatic event, a grieving young girl, a sympathetic friend, and a third-party villain to blame for it all.
Yeah, he can't have thought
I've
that
seen
she'd be
more
that
likely
easy.
Scenarios.
And also, men who think very highly of themselves can have a lot of trouble believing not everyone thinks the same.
Preach.
They may have looked different, but Titanico and Horatio, they really were alike in many ways, I think.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
really are smarter than you look. Have I told you that yet?
you too.
You are too kind.
You two are good.
Compliment's the best you're ever going to get. May as well take it, I guess.
Well, I fear that may be all the kindness I can muster for one evening. I imagine the police will want to take my statement, but after that, I hope Mr. Klops will be so good as to show me out with all haste.
I think they'll be wanting the prince's ring back, too, ma'am.
Oh, silly me. Did I put that back in my bag? It is a nice ring, I dare say. Say what you will about the prince, but he really did have good taste for certain things at least. Ta-ta then, everyone.
Love. True ending. Maniacal. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun little game. Made by the foolish mortals. Ah, cute. go, Jeffrey. You go, Michael. Family? Y'all family? You go, William. You go, Kent. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm gonna. You go, Michael, again. Cast?
Ah, yes.
Okay.
They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Good.
No, ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet.
Doc, you have it. Everyone, stay back. She's armed and very likely dangerous.
Ooh, I wonder what these lines are.
Oh my! I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never met. I never met.
Perfect. You nailed it. I don't know why that didn't make the cut.
Perhaps you preferred that your wife... No, that is your husband. You are the wife, and I am an idiot.
Good. Good. Well done.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all. Why would you do that?
Because she's a bee.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people.
Nice. Oh, I guess she doesn't have a character, but no line? No spoof? No nothing? Oh! Good job, Juan. Domenico? Good job. Jeffrey and Michael. All of you. It's not how you spell Siobhan. It really bugs me. That's how you spell Siobhan, so like that's fine. That's just not the traditional spelling. Okay, I'm back at the moment. I had to fix my upload. It's done finally. We just finished! We caught the murderer! I'm glad you're back though. And I'm glad it's done. Oh, there are five endings. So wait, so is this accusing like each different person? Oh no, you're fine, you're fine. GG. Oh, thank you. Oh, wait. Comtessa, Horatio, Klops, Leah, Cherie. Oh, I guess it is just 5 suspects. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm gonna, wait, what? No. I like this music, though. Yeah, this music's really good. It was like a cute little game. I'm gonna find someone to raid, because we finished. Who's... Ooh! Toilet Pony is doing a no save, no damage RE2 run. We're raiding Toilet Pony. Because what? Did I do this right? Oh lord, that poor boy. Right? Like, what? But thank you guys so much, everyone, for tuning in. This was really fun. I will be able to stream later this week. I think, no promises, I think I'm gonna start RE3 Make. I think that's gonna be my next game. And I might stream Wednesday. I think Wednesday might have to be my next stream day. I don't think I can stream before then. We'll see. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah, Abby, thank you for being here. Let's go raid Toilet Pony and see this insane run that he's doing. You'll like 3 Make? I'm excited. I'm super excited. It looks like, you know, the Resident Evil games have been so fun, so I'm really excited to start another one. Bye guys! Have a good night.